and welcome to NUFC Match Day Live. It's Newcastle United away at Southampton today, and it's an 8 o'clock kickoff at St Mary's. And the show tonight, as always, is sponsored by NewWorkwear.com, and we always have a little bit of fun with this. And there he is, Daz, straight in the middle. He's even got a reclining chair now, which gets he's the only person who fits in perfectly. It really is good. But NewWorkwear.com, who sponsor the show, big shout out to the guys there, and also a big shout out to qtechshop.co.uk, who have always supported the show, and they make pool tables and snooker tables in the heart of Newcastle and Wallsend, and also design our rather snazzy NewcastleLegends.com t-shirts, which are available at NewcastleLegends.com. They also have been providing us with t-shirts to give away in aid of the food bank. And that final one, the Hangover Part 3 NUFC Matters t-shirt, Three Amigos t-shirt, is up on my Twitter now. All you need to do is go on there and bid for it. All proceeds, and I mean all proceeds, go to the food bank. And at the moment, it's only been up for 1 hour, and it's already up to £75. So this will be the final Three Amigos t-shirt. So far, I think we've made something in the region of 350 quid off 2 t-shirts. So a big thanks to qtechshop.co.uk for doing that. Try and get that next one up to another 150. It'd be nice to get around about 500 quid off all of them. That would be great. But we're here to talk about the match, of course, and we've got a full house, as always, of Newcastle United fans. It's a big special welcome to Laura, who did the very first ladies' night. First time she's had a chance to get back on. So welcome back to you, Laura. Looking forward to your input tonight. I'll let you go first tonight, then. So the lineup is an unchanged one. Obviously, we've all spoken during the week about potentially, getting Fraser a chance of a run out, but he's not in the starting lineup, and he's not on the bench because he's unfortunately got a slight hamstring injury. So it's an unchanged team. It's as you were. I would expect the formation to be pretty much the same. What's your thoughts on that, Laura?
It's just what I expected, really. He's not gonna change a winning team. I didn't have any idea that Fraser would be out, obviously, till the team sheet came up, that probably would have been one of the only changes I would have made. I mean, Saint-Max is brilliant, but I was thinking the way that Fraser and Wilson link up, I just really wanted to see more of that. So I was thinking maybe just leave Saint-Max on the bench for this one, bring him on later, but obviously you can't.
Yeah, okay, that's good stuff. Al-Walid, good evening, mate. I hope you're well. Your views on that starting lineup? Were you happy with an unchanged team?
Actually, yeah, and I wish if I see more tactic sentence. I mean, more tactic moves, as long as it's the same formation plan. Third game on the row. And it's important now to add more structure to this formation, and the player now, I think they're getting better the new formation, and I hope to see. I remember this is last year. It was against Southampton. It was just before I think the stop or the lockdown. So hopefully we will win again tonight.
Okay, Chris Hall, the big question is already coming in on the chat. Did you get any tea at the weekend?
I got my own. Yeah, I went to the shop and got myself a pizza. So I got fed in the end, but yeah, no, it wasn't off the missus.
Yeah, for those of you who didn't watch the weekend show, Chris obviously, as you can tell by the accent, has obviously got connections in the Everton and Liverpool area, and his missus supports Everton. She wasn't too pleased with the result at the weekend, so there was a lot of concern from our regular viewers as to whether Chris was ever going to get fed again. But it seems to have all calmed down now. What's your take on the starting lineup, mate?
Yeah, no surprises. I suppose he had to go with the same 11, and let's hope we start as we finished in the last game. Obviously, it's a disappointment. Fraser's missing out today. I would have liked to see him at least come on. So that's disappointing. But yeah, do you know what, Steve? It's definitely going to be Joe Linton's 10th game today, isn't it? He's our only attacking option.
Now, do you think it's going to be his 10th game, or is that wishful thinking so that I can give my honest opinion on him again?
No, I think he'll definitely come on at some point, Joe. Based on the bench, obviously, if we're looking if we're looking to, say it's a draw after like 70, 75 minutes, I think he's going to bring Joe on to try and mix things up a bit. So yeah, I think he will come on. And do you know what? Let's see. You never know. He might cap off his 10th appearance for yourself, Steve, with a goal. You never know.
You never know. You never know. Stranger things have happened. Nathan, good evening, mate. What's your take on the team tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it is always difficult, as the lads have said, to change a winning team after a winning performance, and it wasn't a performance that was, it was a good performance by all accounts. Judging by some of the standards that we've seen so far this season. So I think with that, it's a positive. For me, the concern really is that for the last 2 games we've seen Saint-Maximin in this kind of free role that he seemed to carve out for himself. I think it's probably the general consensus of all of us from the previous shows that he's probably put in some of his worst performances when he's been in the last 2 games, probably apart from the game at Brighton. I don't think he was very effective at all in the last 2 games when he was playing up front in that free role. It was only when he dropped back that he started to have like a bearing on the game and an impact on the game. So I wonder if, knowing Bruce, he doesn't really adapt to things. He doesn't see these things. He doesn't tend to change the way he approaches things. So I wonder if we're going to get the same again today, if we're going to get, like an ineffective Saint-Maximin for the first half of the game, and then he'll move him back out onto the wide, and then we'll probably get some success. I would imagine that's probably what we're going to do. I think with Joe Linton, he's on the bench tonight, and I think he's one of our only options. I think he'll probably get on tonight, won't he, at some point. I think I'd probably rather have Joe Biden than Joe Linton, though, to be honest.
He's too busy getting into the White House by the looks of it. Pete, good evening. Your take on that starting lineup? As I say, I don't think it was completely unpredictable.
I didn't expect there to be a change. There's possibly an argument for Hayden to come back in, and then there was an argument for Fraser to stop. Obviously, with him being injured, it's kind of thrown that out. Bruce has been one of those managers that when we win, he always keeps the same team anyway, so I didn't expect any changes. Look, we won, and actually that second half was a pretty decent performance. So there's no reason why we can't go into this game confident. Southampton have lost Bertrand and Danny Ings, so we should be confident going into this game. We won there last season. Arguably with Southampton having a better team that they've got starting tonight. So, look, form side, it's all to play for. We could have said the same for Everton last week, and we went down in their cases on Sunday and we beat them. So, I'm positive going to this game. I am. I think we can get another win.
Okay, Martin, good evening, mate. Alan Pardew's on Sky tonight. I'm looking forward to hearing his great views.
Yeah, luckily the ad's just come on, so he's gone off, so it's perfect timing, mate. He's rattling on about. He's getting. To be fair to him, he's making a decent point about Ward-Prowse, and I was one of the points I was going to say from Southampton's point. Bit of a blessing that Ings is out. But I think we just need to be careful of giving silly little fouls away around the edge of the box with Ward-Prowse, because he can obviously take a very good free kick. Oh, no. So I think we just need to what happened there?
Change of formation.
Come on now. Very good. Now I feel better now. It was out of joint. The feng shui was gone there for a while.
I couldn't see you, Martin, so I've just worked out I can actually move people.
At the naughty corner.
Exactly, yeah. That's just Chris's usual spot, to be fair.
I had to do that for Stu Penman.
He's a bad influence.
Sorry, Martin, go on.
Okay, right. So now Chris is back in his spot. So I think we just need to be careful of giving stupid fouls away, which sometimes our defenders have a tendency to do. Don't think he would have made any changes. I'm not surprised at the lineup. I am surprised at Fraser being out. Obviously, the word is he's a hamstring. So I'm presuming that was during training, which, like Laura, I would have liked to have seen more. Like, listen, last few shows we've been on, I've been shouting out for Fraser and Wilson to link up. So it's disappointing he's injured again. I think Longstaff did okay last week. it's hard to change a winning lineup, I suppose. So at least, you know, from Bruce, it's a slight bit of consistency. But I think it'll be a decent game tonight. But I think it'll be head says I'd love a win, but I think heart rather says a win. But I think head says probably a draw.
Okay, no problem. Daz, good evening, mate.
Hey, Steve.
Where's your backdrop?
Yeah. I had no time today, Steve. Sorry. I'll be back the next day. I promise.
Good stuff. Good.
On the formation, it's nice to see Chris back on the wing. So I think that's where he plays his best football. 4-4-0. But I was expecting them Bruce to stick with the lineup. Really, there were shouts for the likes of Fraser and Hayden to start. It is disappointing that Fraser now has an injury, because it was good to have him as an explosive option off the bench, because he would definitely come on. I think he had to really stick with it, and we'll see how it goes. I'm positive today. I'm back in positive form.
Okay, good stuff. Spenny, your take on that starting lineup tonight?
It's expected, isn't it? I wouldn't mind Fraser being in, but obviously he's injured, hamstring. Keith Dowie's come on Twitter and said he's out for Scotland as well, so I hope it's not too serious. I'm pleased the lad from Southampton's not playing, Dingus, so I think he would have been a threat against us. But I think the defence is playing together again, so I'm happy with that defence. So hopefully we can keep them out.
Okay, just for anyone who hasn't seen it before I come to Chris, the starting lineup, as I say, as we've all said, it is unchanged from the win against Everton. So there you go. Darlow, Murphy, Shaw, Lascelles, Fernandez, Lewis, Hendrick, Longstaff, Almiron, Alan Saint-Maximin and Callum Wilson. On the bench, Gillespie, Clark, Matty Longstaff, Carroll, Joe Linton, Hayden and Manquillo. Chris, your take on the starting lineup tonight, mate?
As the lads had said, it's a shame that Fraser's injured, because I would have liked to have seen him in there. There's something to be said for keeping well enough alone that we got a solid shift with this starting lineup and the last win. So sort of expected that they would keep the same lineup. Nathan stole my line about Joe Biden, because I would have rather seen Joe Biden in there than Joe Linton. But word on the street is that word's gone to Joe Linton, and this is his Steve Wraith testimonial. So he's going to put in a special show tonight, and I'm predicting a Joe Linton goal for as in the US. There's Joe Mentum.
Okay, well, we'll see. A lot of people predicting Joe Linton's going to get on the pitch, but I'll be surprised if he does. I would be. I know he missed the last game, didn't get put on, but be interesting to see what happens. It will be. Looking at the Southampton team, Chris Hall, there it is. There's the team sheet, and obviously just watching the build-up on Sky. I think we're all well versed in what James Ward-Prowse can do. A lot of people in the chat saying we don't want to be giving away cheap free kicks on the edge of the box because this guy is dangerous, and 8 free kicks he's had, and 8 goals from free kicks. He is a dangerous player. He's definitely one to watch, but you can't take Theo Walcott or Che Adams for granted either, can you? I mean, yes, we're delighted that Ings isn't playing, but these guys will come in, and Southampton win tonight sees them go top of the Premier League. Oh, you've done a Spenny. You're on mute.
Match hasn't even kicked off and I've done it already. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, do you know what? I was just saying then, I quite like that Stuart Armstrong as well. And I said this a while ago, and I really hoped that we'd have a look at that Gineppo, because I think he's really good. This was obviously, before our window started, so to speak. But yeah, I like that Gineppo, and Stuart Armstrong's a pretty solid performer. I've never really been a massive fan of Theo Walcott, and obviously with him coming from Everton, a lot of my friends, have never really been keen on Walcott. Obviously, he's got pace, hasn't he? But he's not really a concern for me tonight. It's more Stuart Armstrong and Gineppo. I mean, Che Adams, I think we were linked with him before he went to Southampton, weren't we? And he knows where the back of the net is, albeit, Ings has been taking all the headlines. But yeah, it's gonna be a tough game tonight. And yeah, hopefully Bruce will have warned all the players that, we don't want to be giving the ball away on the edge of the box because, James Ward-Prowse strikes a fantastic ball. And also, same again for corners as well. I believe he's on the corners. So, it's something we're going to have to be careful of. And is it Vestergaard at the centre-back? I think he's bagged a couple of goals recently as well. So he's a big lad. So again, I think set pieces are going to be key tonight. So we've just got to make sure that we're, on the ball and we don't give anything needless away.
Yeah. Okay. For me, it's it is a game we could get something out of. I definitely think it is, and I do agree. Stuart Armstrong certainly done his bit this season already as well. But it's early days. Newcastle's away form just flashed up on Sky there again tonight, and yes, fair enough. We've had a couple of easy games in the cup, but we still played 5, won 3 away, scored 12, conceded 3. It's not a bad away record, and God, I remember days when Newcastle could win away. So Al-Walid, Southampton's team. You've heard what others have had to say. What's your take on that lineup for Southampton? Anybody really put the fear of God into you? It's spinning night tonight.
You want me to talk? You know what I mean? I'll pretend to be Al-Walid.
You need to unmute Al-Walid.
I'm playing basketball.
Okay, Danny Ings, I'm happy that he's not on the bench tonight. But still, as you said, James and Theo Walcott, they're still dangerous for the team. But I think Newcastle can make it tonight for a win.
Okay, cheers, mate. Laura, don't get caught out by the mute button. The Southampton. I see. I'm kind to people when they do that, but when they do the first show.
Oh, I did that in the meeting this week. I've been caught out by that, Mike.
So Southampton's team. Obviously, there's a few threats in there. Who do you, who do you think could be the main threat for them?
I mean, I'm always ridiculously quite confident in Newcastle, so I was thinking today that we're going to win. But the more and more I keep seeing those free kicks on the build-up going, I'm thinking, oh God, it's just, you just know that they're going to end up giving a few away. So that's why I'm feeling pretty nervous about any set pieces. But I'm not going to lie, haven't seen that much of Southampton this year. But obviously they had a few little shaky results at the start, but they're doing brilliant. So it's gonna be a hard one. But I think if we carry on the same way we did the second half against Everton, we're in with a good shout.
Don't forget though, Laura, we did get a win down there before lockdown at the end of last season. And Saint-Maximin
sad, isn't it, when you see the crowd cheering?
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, it definitely is. Okay, thanks for that, Nathan. Your views on the Southampton lineup tonight?
Yeah, I think they've got a lot to hurt us in terms of from the set pieces. They've got a good midfield that likes to get the ball down and play through the middle. So you're hoping that we're going to kind of match that with some sort of strength and grit in the middle of the park today, which will be interesting to see from the lineup that we've picked. As Pete mentioned, I would have liked Hayden in today to kind of break that up a bit more, but Hendrick did a lot of running last week, didn't he? And I think that was pointed out that he did a lot of the kind of dirty work last week. So yeah, I think obviously Ings is a massive miss for them, but yeah, I think Walcott, I'm not too bothered about him. I think he's lost a few yards now, and that's what made him kind of stand out. I don't think he ever really hit the heights that he was capable of at all anyway, but that yard of pace was something that kind of set him away from forwards or players in and around him, and I don't think he's got that now. So he's not the best finisher. So I think if we have a defensive performance like we did last week, and then I'd be pretty sure that we could keep him out. But what we don't want to do today is we don't want to invite them onto us. We don't want to invite them to sort of camping around the edge of our area, because when we sit back and if we let them pressure us, then that's when we'll give away those silly free kicks like we talked about. So yeah, I think we can get at these today. I don't think their fullbacks will want to be dealing with Almiron and Saint-Maximin today. So yeah, I'm not too worried. It's probably a really good I think we've had the luck of the run 2 weeks in a row. We've played another team with their arguably their best player missing. So I think it's a good time to play them.
Okay, Pete, your take on the starting lineup for Southampton?
Danny Ings and Bertrand are big misses. I think if I'm right in thinking, Danny Ings has scored 40% or around that of Southampton's goals. So the fact that he's not playing is a big plus for us. I think that will help to isolate Shea Adams, who's a very good young player. But the fact we've got 3 centre backs, I think it will help to isolate them and make it difficult for them in attacking areas. I think, looking at their back four, I think that's where we can really get at them. They haven't got a lot of pace. And with Callum Wilson, it's got pace to burn. Saint-Maximin, that's got pace to burn. We've got players there that we control them. You look at Lewis on the left. You got Murphy on the right. You got players making late runs. Longstaff, for example. I think we should be confident. That's why I'm confident we can get a win tonight. Because I think defensively there are issues there with Southampton. For all their good attacking play, we can really hurt them in areas. So I'm confident. The likes of Vestergaard really is their only sort of worry in the air with regards to set pieces. More process. They're not a very tall team. They're not a team of any stature whatsoever. So the one thing I would like us to see, I'd like us to, for all the talk about set pieces for Southampton, I would like us to do something with set pieces tonight, because we've got the height to really trouble them. And I've looked at the beginning of the season, and even in restarting, whenever we get a corner, I never really get excited about it. Whenever we get a free kick on the edge of the area, I never really get excited about it, because we never really hurt teams that way. I want to see us tonight with our opposing height, the likes of Fernandez and Lascelles and Shaw, that's actually pretty good in the air. We've got players that can hurt them, and I want to see us really, impose ourselves on their team, and really kind of, show some consistency. We had a good second half against Everton. I want to see us, carry that on. I don't want to be going into a game thinking, what type of performance are we going to get? I want to see us really kick on today and put Southampton to the sword, because I think we're good enough to do it.
Okay, Chris, your take on that Southampton lineup? They could go top tonight if they beat Newcastle, of course, so they'll be well up for this game.
Yeah, I have to say I'm not really bothered by anyone who's still in the lineup. Obviously, not having Ings is a big loss, and Walcott is not what he used to be, if he ever was. So I hope that Newcastle doesn't kind of ride in on their laurels and sort of just say, we will automatically play like we played last week and get another win. I think they need to put another solid shift in. So it really doesn't matter whether Ings or other players are missing from the lineup. It's up to the Newcastle to set the tone, keep the possession, be on the attack, and not sit back and let the game come to them. Take it to Southampton and force the attack, I'd say.
Okay, Spenny, your take on the Southampton lineup, just as the teams are coming out of the tunnel, and Jamal Lascelles, who's of course captain in the Newcastle team, comes out with these wreath of poppies, which I'm sure you will appreciate greatly, being an ex-squadder yourself.
Yeah, really appreciate that. I think it's really good all the footballers do all this myself. And going back to the team, Southampton are a good team, regardless of England's not playing. I watched them last week, and the goals in that team. So we've got to watch them. We can't be overconfident about this team. Away from home as well. That's my take on you, Steve.
Okay, Gaz, your view on that team?
Yeah, I think everybody really covered it already. I saw it as 3 dangers. Ings, who's out. There's Ward-Prowse from the free kicks, and then Vestergaard from corners, who is a giant in the air there. So that's where I could see a goal coming from. I actually think Vestergaard may score against us tonight.
Okay, Martin, you were on Steve Bruce watch there. What did he have to say in his interview before the game?
He didn't use the word hopefully, which was a change. Pretty much talking, he just said the usual. Southampton are a good team. They asked him what he thought about the start of the season. He said he thinks it's been a good start. Last 2 games, he thinks we've tightened up a bit, a little bit harder to play against. We were too open early in the season. Didn't say anything about Fraser. Just pretty much that he's been working on not giving as much space in behind the midfield defence, and he's kind of happy to be running with the same team, and consistency helps. In the games they've got. So,
okay, what's your take on the Southampton lineup?
I think it. Like everyone on the panel tonight, I think Ings being out is a real bonus for us. But like Spenny said, they're a good team. The manager has them playing well. Like, he's no mug. I actually like I like the look of the lad. I think they got him from Chelsea, Kyle Walker-Peters, I think it is, or maybe I'm not sure if it's Spurs. Yeah, thought so. I like him. Van der Gaard at the back is good as well. Bednarak as well is quite good in the air. So that again, I think if we can not give stupid fouls away, then maybe they're there for the taking tonight. But they are a good team. So I think we need to play well and play like we kind of did second half against Everton. Then maybe we can grab something.
Okay, great stuff. The last post is being played, I presume, at the ground as the teams surround the centre circle with their heads bowed, poppies firmly placed in the middle, and they pay their respects to the fallen, and something which is always very poignant when you're inside a football stadium in November, paying respect to those who we lost, lest we forget. So, yes, it's very, very sad just to see an empty football stadium, and all for the few officials that are around, but they're all obviously paying their respects, which we do too on NUFC Matters. Newcastle, of course, playing in one of the snazzy away strips, which I know most of the girls have purchased, yellow strips. They do like the strips, the girls, on a Monday night. And got to say, as the orange one did all those years back, it does look okay for me. It's not a bad strip at all. So just before we kick off, let's go around the team. Chris Hall, your prediction for tonight's game, mate.
Again, then. I'm gonna say 1-1. I think Wilson's gonna score, and yeah, I'm gonna say 1-1. I do think we could win, but yeah, I think 1-1 tonight, and that'd be a great point at Southampton.
Okay, I just want to say happy birthday, Martin, 1965. Can you wish my lad a happy 21st? He's stuck at uni in Brighton. His name is Samuel Watson. Happy birthday, Samuel. Hope you have as good a night as you can do under the circumstances. Have a good one. Al-Walid, your prediction for tonight's game, mate, please.
1-0, but I can't say 1-0 for either of the teams. Who can sneak one goal?
Okay, so you're hedging your bets. You're saying 1-0 to either team.
Yeah, I can see it's one goal match.
One goal in it. Okay, no worries. Laura, your prediction, please.
2-1 to us.
2-1 to Newcastle.
I'm always wrong though.
Okay, Nathan, your prediction, mate.
Yeah, I can't see a lot of goals in this one, so I'm going to go with 1-1 to us, Callum Wilson.
Okay, 1-1. Pete, your prediction, please.
I'm going to go 2-1 Newcastle. I think we'll win today, and obviously go into the top 4.
All right, Chris, prediction, mate.
I'm on the trend here. 2-1 Newcastle.
2-1 to Newcastle. Spenny.
1 apiece.
1 apiece. Daz.
2-1 for me as well. Wilson, ASM, and Vestergaard.
Okay, and Martin, last but not least, prediction.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. Almiron to get a goal tonight.
Okay, I'm going to go with a 1-0 win and Callum Wilson to score again tonight. I think we'll get a penalty, and I think it'll be a tight game. But yeah, 1-0 I'm going for as the fireworks go off above the St Mary's Stadium and the game kicks off.
Let's kick off after. Kicked off after the fireworks.
Yeah, well, the fireworks are still going on my screen for some reason. So, but the game had already kicked off. So, why they were showing back on it, I don't know, Spenny. But either way, there was definitely fireworks above the ground. Let's hope there's fireworks in the game, but for Newcastle. Tag Sports going for a 3-1 win. Stuart Hardy, you guys caught us at the right time. You're only going to get battered 3-0. We always like to have a fan on from the team that we're playing. So Stu, stay with us if you can tonight, mate. Good to have you on. Always good to get the opposition's input. He feels that Southampton are going to win 3-0.
Be interesting to see what Maxi does tonight, because like a few of the lads were saying, I'm not sure the role was fitting very well for him, and I'd like to see him, go out, start from the wing and come inside. So it'll be interesting to see if he lines up top and next to Callum Wilson, or whether he drifts off a bit.
I can't see if we play how we played last week. I can't see us getting beat 3-0. I don't know where that's come from, but.
Nice response about the phone a friend thing, Steve, did you?
Yeah, I think it's been massively positive. As I said on the last show, the Three Amigos tonight. Great to have Martin on and put the point across so eloquently as well to help launch it. But I think the uptake by people on social media has been fantastic. A lot of people are very supportive of it. At the last count, I think the video had been, viewed over 45,000 times, which means that it was well worth doing. And, a big thank you to all the ex-players, the boxers, and, everyone who contributed to doing that. But yeah, look, it's a message we want to get out throughout the whole of November and through the lockdown period. And, it's a team effort on NUFC matters. We're all in it together. And, if people are picking the phone up and ringing people, that's all we want to do. But the Phone a Friend initiative, as I say, we will not apologise for mentioning it on every show. There it is. Keep calm and phone a friend. And just give a family member or a friend a call that you haven't spoken to for a while. It costs nothing but the phone call. And as I say, it's something we're all thoroughly behind. Newcastle on the attack anyway in the snazzy yellow strip.
Busy.
So I've got to see snazzy yellow badge on as well from the food bank.
Yeah. Newcastle certainly not sitting back anyway, and it's good to see early exchanges, and Newcastle are certainly looking up for it tonight, which is good news. Martin. Are you there, Martin? Is he frozen? Martin frozen? Daz.
Yeah.
Daz, we'll go to you.
Yeah, nothing's happened yet, really, Steve. Just not even a movement towards the goal, really. That's about it for Newcastle. But and just on the kits, I was never a fan of the yellow one. I was always a fan of the purple one over the yellow one, if we remember from a long time ago. But see what happens.
What about you, Spenny? Are you a yellow strip man?
I like the other one better. I like the purple one better than that. The purple and blue one. I like that one. I'm used to yellow tops anyway. I like the McEwen's yellow one we used to have in the 90s. Remember that one with Clarky and them we used to play in?
Yes, yeah.
That was a nice one, that.
Frank Hughes asking where Fraser is. He was pulled out before the game. He's got a slight strain on his hamstring, we're led to believe. So that's why Ryan Fraser is not on the bench. Chris, thoughts on the strip? I quite like it, the yellow strip.
Yeah, I'm ambivalent about it. I mean, I love the black and white, and then my favorite alternate strip was the all black from a few years ago. So I don't know. If it sells a lot of jerseys, that's great, but not really a fan.
Okay, Chris Hall, are you a fan of the yellow strip?
Yeah, I quite like it. Yeah, I do prefer the purple one, but yeah, I do like the yellow. I mean, I know we previously had that other yellow one. Was that when we were in the championship? I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Always reminds me of
Andy Carroll and Kevin Nolan.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, and Stephen Taylor. It always reminds me of Stephen Taylor for some reason. But yeah, no, it's quite a nice kit actually. Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's good. What about you, Pete? Would you be purchasing one of those?
Well, interesting you say that, because I think my first show with you, Steve, and the lads was when the kit was announced, and I said I didn't like either of them, but I've got to say they've kind of grown on me over the weeks. I don't think I'll be purchasing them, no, but they are really nice. I actually really like this yellow one, but I like both. They've definitely grown on me over the weeks of seeing the players wear them for sure.
Okay, Nathan, will you be buying one to brighten up your November and December evenings?
I've got all three of them this season, but not from Mr. Ashley, from his Chinese brother. That's where I got him. His Chinese business partner.
Shit.
Oh, just don't light up a cigarette near them, Nathan.
Well, do you know what? Like, I haven't like got up close with the kits this season. But,
you're joking,
Man.
Che Adams.
Newcastle were under pressure there. There was a great shot saved by Darlow, and then Che Adams has gone and put the ball in the back of the net. The ball wasn't cleared properly. Great finish by Che Adams. Bulge in the back of the net, and Southampton, with 7 minutes on the clock, go 1-0 up. And that's not the start we were hoping for, Nathan.
No, not at all. But we kind of invited that pressure on ourselves. We've given the ball away in a few sloppy positions there. Almiron, I don't know what he's doing there. He just gets caught with the ball in between his feet, and really poor. Just really poor decision making from him there. And then from there, it's just easy for him. Trying to spin and turn out of trouble, you pack it away or play it back to one of the lads that are free in the defence, and they can get rid of it. But yeah, the lads I didn't pick the marker up there because they didn't anticipate that ball getting into the box. They didn't anticipate us losing the ball there. Really
Got to say, it was Almiron turning in on himself, trying to be clever, trying to be tricky, which is a big midfielder's mistake when you're playing at the back. He got caught with a ball at his feet. Ball got nipped in, put a great ball, cut a great ball back. And got to be said, when you saw the replays of that finish by Che Adams, it was a hell of a strike, Nathan.
Yeah, great finish, and he was in the right place at the right time. And I mean, that's the sort of player he is. He's he doesn't get all the plaudits, but he's a good striker in that he gambles on those chances, and he was rewarded for it on that occasion.
He was, yeah. Laura, you were the most reactive there, I think, when that went in.
Sorry.
Don't apologise. Don't apologise. It was, it was a good strike, wasn't it? Disappointing, but a good strike by Southampton.
And how do they not just score normal goals then? It's disappointing. He should just put his through, being too clever and messing around. And no, well, that's their one anyway.
Yeah, well, that's it. Look on the bright side, Laura. Look on the bright side.
I'm trying to, but I'm watching this now, and I'm not feeling.
Yeah, Southampton's one of those places where Newcastle tend to concede glory goals, like Matt Letizia got mentioned earlier on the chat. So Al Walid, not the start we were looking for.
Yeah, it's a mistake. He thought maybe he was in the front, and he didn't. He shouldn't. He's an international player. And these mistakes. It's 0-0. It's not like we are ahead 3 or 4 goals to do this, or just wasting time. But it's a mistake. It happens.
Okay, mate. Chris Hall, your take on that goal by Southampton? Disappointing start. 1-0 down. 10 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, really disappointing. I mean, just, I don't really know what he's doing there. He needs to clear his lines. If he feels under any pressure whatsoever, he's got to be given the ball. I know he was trying to give the ball back to, it looked like Jamal Lewis, but he shouldn't be messing around with it there, doing step overs and whatever. And also what I thought was a little bit disappointing was, obviously, Che Adams, fantastic finish. But when he's in the box, no one's near him. So as soon as that ball's lost, you would expect one of your centre-halves to look around and go, right, hang on, I've got to have my man here. So whoever's been marked, I mean, there's only him up front. And, we've got 3 centre-halves playing. And no one was within about 5 yards of him when the ball come in. So little bit disappointing that. But hopefully it doesn't get worse for us. But now it feels like we're, going backwards now and sitting back so we don't concede another. But I hope we don't, stay like this for the rest of the half, because we need to, we made a positive start in the first few minutes, so we need to get back to that and, try and get an equaliser.
Yeah, Chris, the big concern here is that, Southampton are playing well, and, Newcastle, if they do concede another goal, you hope that that the floodgates aren't going to open.
Yeah, I always feel like Newcastle, after they score and after they give up a goal, are always in danger of conceding more. Just a bad defensive breakdown. You feel like Almiron is hasn't been playing well, and he's trying to make something happen, and just kind of loses his head in the worst possible space.
Yep. Okay, Spenny. Not a great start at all, mate. Just a big concern. Big concern for me is if we concede a second goal, and it's lights out.
I'm going mad here. You should have Manquilly on here. Lauren's not a defender. He should be doing back and doing this and make mistakes. You should have Manquilly on sorting this out. Simple as that. Useless twat.
Yeah, it doesn't take long for people to people revert back to type about Steve Bruce. It's going to be perfectly honest. But let's see how things go. 12 minutes in, Southampton 1, Newcastle 0. Daz, ever the optimist. Not a good start, mate.
Yeah, it's disaster of a start. But look, it's early days. They usually start to play better when we go behind. So maybe we'll see some of that. We haven't seen that yet because Southampton have pushed on again. Che Adams is up for this one. That's Pete's mate, Che Adams. But yeah, let's see. They haven't done anything yet, so they have to get into the game and take it from there. So there's still hope. It's not all over yet. We're only 12 minutes gone. So. Yeah,
let's not get too downhearted. Martin, you're welcome back. Did you see the goal?
Do you know what it is? Had a complete internet meltdown. It's probably a good job I wasn't on because there was a fair few F words, and I came back on. It was 1-0. I was like, oh, here. Come on, man. So, yeah, I did see the goal in the replay. So, look, what can you say? Like, we're getting bullied here from the looks of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. We are getting bullied, and Southampton looked well up for this. It was a good goal, though, Martin, and unfortunately, it came after a save from Darlow, which was outstanding, and it was just unfortunate the ball fell to Almiron at the on the outside. He messed on with it too much and got caught out by Walcott. Walcott kicked cut the ball back, and it was a good finish by Che Adams. You couldn't say anything more about it.
Yeah, well, hopefully we pick up now, but I'm just seeing someone there saying Lascelles at fault. Didn't pick up Adams. But...
Yeah, it's got to be said it was probably him. Can I ask everyone to put their mics on mute? Just we're getting a bit of feedback, and some of the listeners they can't hear it. So if we put all our mics on mute and then just unmute yourself when when I come to you, just to see if I can clear it up for now, that would be good. We'll come to you, Pete. Lascelles, again, has a bit of criticism one week. Next week he has a blinder, but that's just the way that he is, isn't it? He's very tight as bramble.
He is. He switches off, and that's exactly what he's done there. He switched off. He wasn't expecting Almiron to lose the ball, so he wasn't tracking his man as well as he should have. Within a split second, the ball's in the box and it's in the net. And this is why he gets the criticism he does, is because he doesn't switch on. He can't concentrate for 90 minutes, and it's poor defending. It's poor from Almiron, but it's also poor defending. If you're closer to him, he gets something on that shot, and it doesn't get there's not a shot on target. It's as simple as that. But look, it's a fantastic finish, and I'm already getting a little bit of stick from guys that I work with that obviously work quite closely with Che Adams, and I'm choosing to ignore those messages at the moment because they're long ways to go.
No problem, man. Yeah, Nathan, 15 minutes gone. And Newcastle starting to try and find a way back into this, mate.
No, it doesn't look like it. It's really disappointing to concede when we did, because we were actually camped in their half a little bit before we started losing the ball and getting pushed back. So it's that's the worry, isn't it? Like Daz and one or two of the others have mentioned, that's the the concern is that when we go behind, we kind of panic and hope we don't go further behind, and then it's only after a period of time of being behind and being camped in our own half that we'll start to actually try and look for a winner. And obviously, sometimes we leave it too late to do that. But you know, I think as we saw when we went 1-0 down, when we've gone down early before, we tend to ship a few more sometimes, don't we? It's not. I don't think it's likely to be to remain 1-0 now. So either it'll go one or two ways now. We'll either try and find some form and you know, push out from the back and start playing some football, or we'll end up inviting them onto us. And the way it's looking like the latter of those two at the moment.
Tom Lynch says, harsh to compare Lascelles to Bramble, like no allegations about any off-the-field misdemeanors. No, I certainly wasn't talking about what he got off to off the pitch. I just feel he is a bit like Titus Bramble, Tom. I've got to be perfectly honest. You know, he's not a bad defender. He's certainly not the worst centre-half we've ever had. But I just feel he's always prone to that little mistake or that little issue. And, you know, ultimately it does lead to a goal. It leads to us conceding a goal. And that's a bad thing. But never mind. Steve Bruce is on. He says, if we could keep a decent shape, a sucker punch is on the cards. Thanks, Steve. I wish you would just concentrate on what was going on the pitch. Anthony Stafford says, usual NUFC tripe, drop back, can't pass, kick and rush. It's awful. Stuart Hardy, our resident Southampton fan for the night, says, I've got to say, lads, this is a sound fan-based side, but you've never had good luck down here. Even in Alan Shearer's days, he only won once when he returned down south. He never won at the Dell in 9 attempts. Yep, we did win down there last season, though. 1-0, Saint-Maximin, Stuart. But you are right, it is a place we used to dread. And I've got to be perfectly honest, the old Dell was probably worse than St Mary's for us. I think you lost a bit of character when you moved grounds. That old Dell where you used to have the pitch enclosed, the fans were right on top of the players. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare for fans as well. A hell of a long journey just to see nothing happen. But there was one bright spot I saw down there as a fan, and that was Paul Gascoigne making his debut for Newcastle. So every cloud has a silver lining this year. Newcastle corner cleared easily though by Southampton, and it says Southampton 1, Newcastle 0. Laura, your take on Lascelles, please.
He is hit and miss. He just goes to sleep too much, and he's all right. He's all right, but he's not the best we've ever had, is he?
Would you?
I'm just saying, I've been watching this thing and it's just all one-way traffic, but there's been a few bright sparks there, hasn't there? I've got a little bit of faith that we might be able to get back into this if we do it quickly.
It seems as if Newcastle, you know, essentially are, you know, just doing what they did, you know, in the game before Everton. That you know, they're just keen on making mistakes. It's not as if they play badly. They just make individual errors, don't they? Almiron made the wrong decision there, and that's why we ended up getting caught out for the goal. I'm just saying we make individual errors as opposed.
Oh, it's just daft. It's just daft things that they should. Yeah, like I should just put his foot through. There's too many individual mistakes, but then for most of the goals, it's been that one little bit of individual brilliance as well. So it's not really a team effort at the minute. It is either down to individuals messing up or coming good. But.
Okay, corner to Newcastle. I'll take you through this before we'll come to Al Walid. Sean Longstaff taking the corner. It's a low corner, not a great one, it has to be said. Southampton's back four pick it up and clear their lines. Al Walid, Lascelles to blame for the goal. You know, he is hit and miss as a player, isn't he? Sometimes he can be outstanding, but you know, that was a bit of a mistake from him as well as Almiron.
But I think it's more it's Almiron, like 100%. It's it took them all of the sudden lose the ball, and it happens. It's 90 minutes. I think there's still time to make that up.
Yeah. Okay. No problem, mate. Chris Hall, your views on that goal and Lascelles is, you know, was Lascelles at fault, like somebody was saying in the chat?
Yeah, no, it was me who said it. Yeah, he's. Do you know what, Steve? You probably all know now I'm not Lascelles' biggest fan. I don't agree with him being captain. I appreciate we've probably not got a team full of leaders, but the trouble with having, when you've got a captain, 9 times out of 10, you have to play him. And for me, Lascelles shouldn't be playing week in, week out. I'm not saying he's a bad defender. And like you say, I totally get the Bramble reference, because sometimes he has good games and you think, he's turned up, he's doing well. And then other times you just think, oh, come on, that's basic. I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence that he's not as an England caller, because, as I say, he has a few good games for us where he's looked solid. And then he just goes and does stuff like that. And yeah, it's poor. It's not good enough. He would be one of the first people, maybe next summer, where I'd look to, replace him, because like I say, I'm not a big fan of his. Personally, I'd prefer Fernandes and Clark at the back. That they'd be the two I'd pick, with Shaw if we're playing, the three at the back.
Flash Mexi says the same. He'd like to see Clark play, as Jamal Lewis puts a great ball in. Sean Longstaff rose, met the header perfectly, but it was straight into the arms of the keeper. Points dropped when ahead. Southampton 37, which is the most since December 2018. That's a slight encouragement for Newcastle going into this. West Ham second with 35, Arsenal third with 33. So if Newcastle can keep it at 1-0, there is a way back into this. Chris, what's your take on Lascelles, mate? Oh, can't hear you, Chris. Are you back on mute? Go for it, mate. That's it. I think. Are you? No, he's still on mute.
I've never been a fan of his. Like the others have said, it's hard to justify when he's not our best center half. So it's just by saying he's the captain, so he has to play, is kind of a crutch on us. Like the other lads have said, if there's an opportunity, next summer to replace him, I wouldn't be opposed
okay.
to that.
Spenny, Lascelles. A lot of people saying that he was at fault for that goal. I would be more inclined to say it was Almiron's fault, but I can see what people meant especially because about him leaving his man. What's your view?
I think it was Almiron's fault. It wasn't Lascelles. He's about the best. Clark should be in instead of Lascelles. Simple as that. He's only there because he's a captain, isn't he? Bruce has brought him in as captain himself. That's what he's there for.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that Clark. A lot of people saying Clark should be back in, Spenny, and he's a better player all round. I mean, Clark was only ever bought as a cover player by Rafa, but ended up making his place in the team. And whenever he came in, he never let us down. I mean, would you give Clark a chance alongside Fernandes?
I've been saying the last few weeks he should be playing, shouldn't I? You know what I mean? I think my daughter's happy that Scar's playing because she fancies him.
Okay. It's a classic. Almiron down, rolling around on the ground. Another bad tackle by Southampton player.
Starting to come in a bit now, Steve. Aren't we?
Yeah, well, there is. I mean, Southampton certainly aren't flying at the moment. They're not going for the jugular. Newcastle need something here. Almiron's up and about, walking quite badly. Steve Bruce standing looking a bit perplexed, but Almiron's okay as play continues. Daz. Last thing on Lascelles today.
Yeah, just on Almiron first. It was nice to see him win the ball back there. I think he feels he owes us now after it was his fault really for the goal with losing the ball. And just on Lascelles, I am one of the few that is going to stick up for Lascelles. I definitely can't put him in the same bracket as a Bramble or a Boom Song. No way. If there is a mistake in him, if and when our takeover comes, he will become more of a sub, or move on. But no, he was there for us when we needed him in a leader back a number of seasons ago. So, but yeah, I also get the point though that Clark was. I was surprised at how well Clark had done for us. But I wouldn't be as down on Lascelles as everyone else. Tell you the truth.
That's fair enough. It's all about opinions. Paul Davison agrees with you. He says liking him to Bramble's a wee bit harsh for me. He was truly awful. But you see, you watch back. I mean, we've got European football with Bramble. Bramble wasn't as bad as you think. And if you go back and watch Titus Bramble, he's got very, he was a bigger lad than Lascelles, but very, very similar. Made some errors. But he kept his place in the team, and he did okay. He wasn't as bad as you think, Bramble. I've got to be perfectly honest. So that's why I always tend to compare him with Lascelles. 26.5 minutes on the clock. Southampton pushing forward again through Walcott. Skips past one, skips past two. Fernandez wins the ball back and then gives it away. It's not looking good again, but Newcastle managed to clear the lines. Again, it falls to a Southampton player. Southampton again pushing up in numbers, and another clearance, and falls to Saint-Maximin. Saint-Maximin gets away, skips from one, two, and yes, you've guessed it, he's been brought to the ground by a Southampton player, and another yellow card is handed out as Saint-Maximin is left to writhe on the ground in agony. So it's the same old really, Daz. I'll come to you at the start of this one. Saint-Maximin and Almiron, both quick and both being targeted. Romeo going into the book there.
They're all taking a beating. Yeah. That guy Romelu, he normally gets a card in every game, so he's got it after 27 minutes, so that's good. Both St. Max and Almiron will run, and they'll win a few free kicks for us. It'd be nice to get them up at the top of the pitch, so we can might be able to do something with them. But that's really it.
Okay, yes, Frankie, you haven't missed a great deal, mate. We got off to a decent start, and then we got caught with a sucker punch. Southampton took the lead. Good goal after a mistake from Almiron, and Lascelles leaving his man. Newcastle have got a little bit more back into it, but Southampton pressing again. That's where we're at, mate. That's about it. Flash Mexi says, how about Lascelles compared to Andy O'Brien? Maybe he's a little bit, yeah. We don't know how to handle Walcott. How do they defend against ASM in training, says Azzy. Stu says, the way Lascelles is going, we may have to change local hero to the Laurel and Hardy theme. And Steve Bruce isn't very happy about Romelu hurting ASM. Spenny, once again, our key player, ASM, getting targeted, isn't he? He's getting hit, and hit from the back, hit from the side, hit from the front, and kicked up in the air.
He's playing behind the striker. He always gets that, doesn't he? Every player gets that, but like you said, they've all watched him last season, how good he was. So they're putting him down, aren't they? They're targeting him. That's as simple as that, aren't they? But I've noticed when he had that chance there, he dropped from the halfway line and brought the ball on to the other players when he had the shot. And non-stop had that header. He brought it from the outside. He didn't actually was up front. So it just shows, can you give Bruce a clue where he should be playing, really? He should be on the wing, not up front behind him. Should be putting Almer on behind him.
Okay, that's good opinion there, Chris. Almiron and ASM being targeted again by Southampton, trying to kick them out the game. Yep, you're live, Chris.
Okay. I'm. You never like to see that. I like to think that we're a clean club. We don't really lose our head and play dirty, and you never like to see it. Another side that might have some players that are kind of known for getting frequent yellows, but it just seems like there's a strategy for every club to go after Saint-Maximin and target him and try to knock him out of the game physically, because they can't deal with his physical skills, so they need to diminish him physically in order to defend him, and that's not right. But there's nothing really you can do about it. Just have to deal with it and take the blows and carry on.
Okay, Chris Hall.
Yeah, it's always going to happen, isn't it? Unfortunately, I mean, they're really our biggest threats. I mean, Almiron, I've just seen a comment there on the thing. Almiron, he doesn't score assists a lot at the moment, but his work rate is second to none. And I think that was always the issue with Joe Linton, because the problem was, he wasn't bringing much to the team, and he wasn't really putting much effort in. But with Miggy, you know, you always get 110% every game. Obviously, he's made his mistake, which, you know, hasn't been great. But I'll always have time for Miggy because he always puts 110 in every time he's got the shirt on. So I'll always back Miggy. Yeah, Saint-Maximin, he's been coming into it the last couple of last 5 or 10 minutes. But again, I feel sorry for him. Wilson looks isolated, so I don't know. One thing I'm really surprised about though with Southampton, I've said it in the chat as well. They're doing a bit of an us. They seem to be sitting back, which is inviting us on. Now, normally, you know, if teams, you know, when they go 1-0 up, they look for that second goal, but they're being very patient and they're sitting back. And you know, it feels to me like, you know, we could have a way back into the game sooner rather than later. But yeah, I mean, I still don't like Saint-Maximin through the middle. I take Steve Bruce's comment, you know, when he said about the goal against West Ham, and he said it wouldn't have happened if he wasn't, you know, in that number 10 position. So I get his point, but I love him coming out wide and cutting in. I just think he causes all kinds of problems. And when he's up top, he's getting the ball in the last 20, 25 yards. But if you give it to him, you know, say 40, 50 yards out, he's running at players, he's winning free kicks. So I'd like Maxi to come back just that little bit. Maybe swap him with Sean. I don't know. Put him in like a bit of a diamond. I don't know. But that's personally what I would do. But yeah, you know what? We're still very much in this. And I'd certainly be targeting Romeo now, Oriel Romeo. Now he's got that yellow card, and I'd just say to Maximin, just, you know, keep running in and around him, try and sneak another foul. So,
okay, Martin. A lot of people saying Miggy, you know, obviously at fault a little bit for that goal tonight, but a lot of people saying that his work rate's great, but his end product is poor, and maybe it's time to give him a rest. What's your take on that?
I think when we seen Fraser come on last week, I was quite in favour of leaving ASM off, and I think that, you know, there was a lot of comments that we got on the show about, you know, ASM being the danger man. I think I'd rather see Almiron in behind the striker, more central, and I think Chris's point, I prefer to see ASM out wide cutting in. I think he's kind of that last 2/3 of the pitch, I think, is where he can do the damage. I think the fact that he gets kicked a lot is, you know, we're not the Championship, it's the Premier League, and Premier League defenders will suss you out very quickly. So, you know, they'll pick up on a trick, or if he's going to cut from the left or the right, or a spin or a turn, and if they can't stop him, they will kick him. So, you know, I think, you know, physicality wise, he's got to get used to that. So, you know, I think it's something he's going to have to build into his game. Unfortunately, in the English game, you know, he's definitely not going to get as much time, you know, as on, you know, in foreign shores. So I prefer to see him out wide. Again, if it was a toss up for me at the minute with the link up play with Wilson, I'd prefer to see Fraser in it. But again, it's that, what do you do with that middle of the park then between, you know, Hayden, Longstaff, Shelby when he's fit, you know, and Hendrick, and then ASM and Almiron. For me, when he's fit, Fraser has to be a starter the next few games. For me, I think it's just a different connection and a different fit. But yeah, I think ASM's just going to have to get used to it, unfortunately, and it is a different game.
Yeah, Robert Goodinson basically says playing a team that's having a great year on their own turf, so we're going okay. Yeah, keeping it at 1-0. There's always a chance, as Chris Hall said. Pete, you know, the situation that we have with Almiron and you know, Saint-Maximin, they're our main threats, you know, going forward. And you know, everyone has bad games, don't they, Pete?
They do, but I think, as Chris has mentioned and a few of the other lads, that they're not playing in the positions that are best suited to their ability. So I've been watching Almiron in this first half, and he's pretty much playing as a centre midfielder. He's not in a position where he can get the ball and run at defenders, you know, deep into their half. He's getting the ball deep, and that's where their goal came from. Is because, you know, look, Almiron should not be receiving the ball that deep in the pitch. Yes, he made a mistake, but he's been allowed to get that ball so deep because that's where he's meant to be playing. You look at him now in the game; he's literally playing as a centre midfielder. It's not his position. With Saint-Maximin, I just don't think he understands his position he's meant to play. I think he looks a little bit like a headless chicken. He needs to be out on the wing. He needs to be committing fullbacks, which is his game. That's what he's built his game on. That's why we paid the best pot of 17 million for him. So, we need to be making sure that we're playing players in the right positions. And we're not at the moment, which is why we're not really an attacking threat. Again, Wilson looks completely isolated, and he already looks frustrated. But the positive is that it is only 1-0. We've sort of been riding the wave. We've gone past that, and there is an opportunity for us to nick a goal. And I honestly believe if we do get the next goal, that Southampton will start to worry, and there'll be a way back in.
Okay, sounding positive, Pete. I hope you're right. Nathan, do you agree with Pete? Do you think there's a way back into this game?
I think so, yeah. I think Southampton have looked particularly not that confident at the back when we've been on the break. A few of the lads have had a bit of success running through it. Tom Murphy a few minutes ago skipped past 3 or 4 players and got snuffed out, unfortunately. And the same with Saint-Maximin. He's had a few good runs, like we've touched upon. They've resorted to taking him down to keep him quiet. So as long as he keeps that intensity up and keeps running at them and causing problems, then I think there's the way back for us. I think, as I said at the beginning of the game, and I feel like a broken record for saying it, getting Saint-Maximin a little bit deeper on that left wing, I think we really get some joy against these fullbacks today. Miggy's drifting inside. We don't have any natural width again. It's been a characterization of this formation that we're playing. That we don't have any width and we don't have anyone running down the wings at the fullbacks, and that's a real shame considering the players we've got in this team. I think it's just to touch on the point that Chris raised about when he was talking about that we're like quite a team that sort of plays by the book, and we don't have like players that get stuck in and kind of and we'll put a few kicks out there, and I think we're lacking that as a team. I think we're lacking a little bit of nastiness at times in our team, and I think it's something that you see Romeo do it for Southampton. And he breaks a play up, but he gets stuck in, and he's a nuisance, and he's like horrible to play against. And I think we've lacked that since probably since Tiote, since even Diame to a degree. I think Diame was in his last season with us in the Premiership. He was up there with N'Golo Kante, I think, for nearly top tackles over the course of a season. So I think we've missed that in the centre of midfield, and that's why today I would have preferred Hayden in there battling with Romeo, because I think that Hendrick's going a little bit missing today for me. I think the game's passing him by.
Yeah, Donald Baines agrees with you. He says bring Hayden on for Hendrick's second half. And Stuart Hardy, the Southampton fan, says it's a good shout if you target Romeo now. He's on his usual yellow, but he'd be replaced on 65 minutes, so Newcastle need to act fast. Can you tell Steve Bruce that? Brian says, ain't it Chelsea next? The £300 million players and the goalkeeper Abramovich bought are doing bits right now. Tom C says, it's okay playing so deep when it's 0-0, but when you're behind, what's the plan to get further up the pitch? Does anyone else miss Shelvey? Laura, do you miss Shelvey or not?
No. No, not at all. I'm with the rest of the girls on that. Not a Shelby fan at all, but I know it feels quite well. It's just at the minute, just feels like whoever gets the next goal is it's a decisive one. If we can get one before half time here, I think hopefully build on it for the second half. But it's just like Saint-Maximin, he's just that middle role. I thought he'd be a lot better than he's doing the past few games in it, because out on the wing he was just getting put in the stands as soon as he got the ball. So I thought maybe that free role would give him a bit more chance, but he just looks lost, and it would have been brilliant for Fraser this match.
Yeah, it would have been. Would you bring Hayden on for Hendrick like Nathan suggested? And Dunhill?
I don't know. He's a funny one, Hendrick, isn't he? I think I'd just leave it for now, but no, not at the minute. But we'll just see how the rest of the half goes, I think.
Okay. Al Walid, what would you say to anybody suggesting that we should bring Hayden on and take Hendrick off? Would that be the change that you know might give us a little bit more in the attacking department?
I think Hendrick in a very difficult position because I see we are suffering in establish and attack. We are suffering in our first, our third part of the field. We are not getting the ball forward. I see in the middle. In the middle, I see.
No.
Of course, it's not. It was Walcott.
Theo Walcott cut
Extremely
inside, took a shot, and he just hit it wide of Darlow's post. But it was a good move by Southampton. But go ahead, Al Walid.
Oh, the ball.
Yeah, Saint-Maximin, I think he's isolated in the middle. I'm surprised. He needs someone to help. We need someone to help Saint-Maximin in the middle. I'm expect to see Almiron and Saint-Maximin do more in the middle to help in getting the ball to establish an attack and play with Wilson. Of course, we see Southampton more confident. I think they are better in clearance, clear the ball. But I think because they're just more confident, they are ahead 1 goal.
Okay, 42 minutes played. It's Southampton 1, Newcastle 0. Could have gone 2-0 down there, but we didn't. So still in this game. Bruce's lucky clover certainly working wonders again at the moment. But
that's a foul.
Yeah, it was a bad giveaway there by Lewis at the back. He got his feet crossed. The ball went under them, and Walcott was straight on it. And referee, is he getting his card out again?
Yeah, he did.
Who's he booking? Yeah, it was a terror. It was again trying to Lewis trying to overcomplicate something. Fernandez made the tackle on Walcott. Yellow card for Federico Fernandez and a free kick to Southampton in a dangerous position.
I think the thing with Walcott for me is, he has lost probably the top electric pace he had, a couple of years back. He's still a nippy player, but what he's got on top of that is experience. Yeah. And he knows how to get at the back four. He knows the angle to run. He knows, where he wants to pass and the runs to make. And like our back three at the minute, I think they're really struggling to keep a hold of him. Him and Shea Adams are linking up really well, and the lad in midfield for Southampton, Janempo, I think it is, are playing really well together. The link-up play is really good, and they're much quicker on the break when they are getting it. They're kind of pausing through midfield and then breaking as a three, which is causing us problems. Again, in between that line of midfield and defence, we're getting caught out yet again.
Looks like Newcastle may well get through to the end of the first half, still losing by 1-0. Daniel Kane says, is anybody cross with the way we are playing? Daz, are you cross?
I'm cross. I'm very cross. Yeah. What's going to happen here? Okay, free out. But no, we are going to be lucky to go in just 1-0 down. We should definitely be 2-0 down. Walcott should have finished that earlier. I think we were just talking about who to bring on. Well, before we even get on to who bring on, I reckon he's going to be to keep it the same for about 60 minutes, and then I think he needs to switch to 4-3-3 or something just to have a go here. We don't look like we're having a go, and as we all said, that it's not suiting Saint-Max the way it is. And maybe later in the game we'll bring on Joe Linton.
Trolls asking how the game's been. It's been awful. Daz, it could get even worse if we bring Joe Linton on. Spenny, are you angry?
Very angry. If I had hair, I'd be pulling it out. I'll tell you that now. You put a left back on there, right? He's a centre half. He's 6'7". He should be going down that left-hand side, chasing after him, putting the balls into the box. This game's for Andy Carroll. Get that cross in and get a goal in. Simple as that. He's nothing wrong. Bruce. He should have done his homework.
Nothing wrong with Aaron Brooks' Banks eyes. He says you're not happy one bit, Spenny. Chris, are you angry?
I'm more angry that the stupid election is not over yet.
Oh yeah, is that going on? Is it the most? It's got to be the stupidest election in the world, really. Like, because it just seems to drag on for ages, and then if you get beat, you can complain about it and try and get it overturned in the courts. It's to be honest, I get all my political American politics from watching South Park. It's a lot more accurate.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with South Park, I guess.
It's true. It's true. But yeah, I mean, it looks like Biden's won that. Somebody asked us somebody asked us on the show earlier, who do you want to win, Spenny or Biden? And I said definitely Spenny.
Yeah, it's just that like the TV networks and news are not calling the race because they don't want to get sued by Trump administration. It's just a mess.
It is, mate. It is. Nearly as bad as this game.
Football is more enjoyable at this point.
Nearly as bad as this game, to be honest. There is halftime. Halftime greets us, and it's 1-0 to Southampton as the teams go in at the break. Corey sums it up. Absolutely dreadful. Kieran says he's furious with the game so far. Lads, I've smashed my laptop screen out of rage. There's no passion or hunger. Nicholas says Fernandez had to make the challenge and take the yellow, talking about the yellow card that he got. Tez says we're playing bad, but Southampton don't look good at all. We should be doing better. Dunhill says we're fortunate to be only 1-0 down. And Hendrick offers far less than Hayden, says John Justice Allen. Cameron says very, very poor of Newcastle. Flash Mexi says it's like Bruce doesn't know how to enable his forwards to develop any synchronicity with each other. We're always so disjointed, which is a point Nathan's made on more than one occasion, that Wilson could end up like Joe Linton, because the forwards end up getting isolated. Back to normal, same old crap, says Mark Cooper. So, Daz, how do you assess that game so far?
Oh yeah, it's been desperate for us so far. Southampton started the better, and that they even though we were trying to get at them, they should be 2-0 up going into halftime here. He won't change anything at halftime. He'll wait till at least 60 minutes, and then he'll start making changes. I think he needs to change the tactics rather than the personnel and to match that then who he's going to bring on. But Joe Linton's definitely going to come on here, though it's going and Hayden. And if we're still stuck and we still haven't got that goal back, Andy Carroll will come on as well.
Okay, Spenny, how do we change this in the second half?
Get a new manager, simple as that.
What, between now and the start of the second half?
13 minutes.
Might as well. It doesn't happen before. I'm not upset, right? I've just put a treble Scotch whiskey in my glass and drank it neat, just to excite myself a bit more.
Is there any substitutions you'd make to change it?
Like I said earlier on, it's made with Carroll. Get Carroll up front, put the ASM on the wing, put Almiron on the wing, get them balls across against the beanpole of the left back that got on the field, which Bruce should have done homework on. Because I haven't got a left back, so I haven't.
Okay, Chris, what do we do to change this second half, mate?
Yeah, I'm in favor of. I'm a Spenny here, even though we're not in our bedroom setup. We're still next to each other, so we're thinking alike. I'm with Carol. Give Big Andy a chance. Let him do his thing, and maybe we'll get a goal.
Okay, Chris Hall.
Yeah, I think we just need to change the shape. I think we just need to drop Maxi deeper, and if we put someone else up top, it might even be interesting if he throws Matty Longstaff on. Obviously, we've not seen him for a while. Get him in the middle of the park, buzzing round, causing a few problems. It's going back to what a gentleman said before. Then when he put a comment on, I wouldn't say I'm annoyed. I'm frustrated at the moment, because the game's there for the taking. I've said it a few times on the chat. Southampton are sitting deep, and they look. I think Spenny said it as well. They look like they're just setting up for a 1-0, and it's there to be. You know, there's a chance, there's an opportunity here, and if we come out and play exactly like that, it'll stay 1-0, possibly go 2-0. So Bruce needs to, you know, get them in the changing rooms, rile them up, bring on fresh legs, bring Matty on, maybe bring Cavill on. I wouldn't bring Cavill on just yet. I'd probably wait until 20 minutes. I'd see how the first, 25 minutes go, and then bring him on for the last 20, maybe, if we're still struggling. But, you know, if it just needs a little tweak. But has Bruce got it in his locker? Don't know.
A lot of people saying that Hayden should come on in the second half. Martin, what can we do to change this?
Yeah, I think formation-wise, maybe we need to switch it up and get somebody up with Wilson. Whether that's Carroll or whether, maybe that is Matty Longstaff. I think Southampton will play exactly the same way coming back out. I don't think they're in any well, obviously they want to add to it, but I don't think they're in any rush to push it as such. I think, to Chris's point, they are still playing deep, but I think they'll make chances. So for us, it's how do you make that change to get a bit more support up front without leaving ourselves short in midfield? Because Southampton seem to be having the better of the midfield at the moment. So maybe Hayden for Hendrick. Last few weeks, I've been quite a good supporter of Hendrick. I think he does do a lot of dirty work, but he hasn't offered anything at the minute this game. So I think it's maybe time for a change. Bring Hayden on and maybe switch it up to a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-3-1 or something like that. And then, flex that up, bring Carroll on with 20 minutes to go, maybe.
Okay, Nicola Dolby says, when players reach a certain age, they hit a wall and their legs go. Fernandez has hit that wall. Not only would I not renew his contract for next season, I'd take him off now and put Clark on. So a different view about what's going wrong in the back four. Pete, what would you do in the second half to change things, mate?
First things first, I would take Hendrick off and put Hayden on. Hendrick is losing that battle in midfield. He's getting overrun completely, considering he's got two other midfielders that are playing either side of him. So Almiron's playing pretty much as a centre midfielder on the left, and Longstaff's playing as a centre midfielder on the right side of him. But he seems to be continually overrun all the time, and the pace in and behind him. With Walcott, he's just not tracking it. He's committing himself too far up the pitch, and then he can't get back because he hasn't got the pace to get there. Hayden reads the game so much better. He needs to come on. So that's the first thing. Almiron needs to play further up the pitch, or he doesn't play at all. Because playing him in that position, he offers nothing. He clearly doesn't know how to play that position as sort of a in-between centre midfielder and a number 10. And he's getting lost. He's getting lost in the game and he's not offering anything. I think in that whole 45 minutes, he had a 2-minute spell where he'd made a run forward. So he stayed forward to press the ball up high. And it looked a little bit more like that Almiron that we know. And he was pressing it high. He was making it difficult for them. I think we won a couple of throw-ins off it. And then he went back into that centre midfield position and it was just back to normal again. I agree with the last person that made the comment. I disagree with the last person that made the comment about Fernandez. I think Fernandez has done okay defensively. He made that mistake for misreading for the free kick for Walcott, but actually I think defensively he's done well. I think Lascelles is all over the place, all over the place. So if you wanted to, really go out there and make some major changes, I'd be getting Lascelles off and putting Clark as the left centre back and putting Fernandez through the middle. Because I think he's a better central defender. He's our best defender at the club. I don't care how old he is. Fernandez is our best defender at the club, without shadow of doubt. He plays, and our good performances defensively are because of him and not Lascelles. So if you wanted to kind of push the boat out, I would do that. But we need to be getting more support around Callum Wilson. He's so isolated. This 45 minutes reminds me so much of the Wolves game, where we're just offering nothing. He's so isolated. He's becoming frustrated, and it's the game's going to dwindle away. We're not playing Wolves. We're playing a lesser quality side. Let's be honest. Defensively they're making mistakes, but we're just not punishing them because we're not high enough up the pitch to cause them problems. So we need to be going all out for this. I wouldn't be bringing Andy Carroll on yet because he slows down our play. We've got pacey players that like to get forward. If we get a goal and it's 1-1 and we're pushing for a win, throw him on. but not right now when we're pushing for something, because he slows down our attacking play so much, and so does Joe Linton, because he's just all over the place. Like, you don't know what you're going to get from him. So there would be the only real two changes that I'd make, and really look to sort of push and unleash Almiron, getting him further forward, and even just moving slightly Saint-Maximin to the right hand side, and just say to them, run at their fullbacks. Their fullbacks have had a dream today. They've not had any sort of pressure whatsoever, and they're a makeshift fullback pairing on the left and right. We should be exposing them, and we haven't. But then you look to the manager and you think, right, where are you going to make the changes? So, this is what he gets paid for. Let's see what he comes up with.
Okay, please give the video a like. Just hit the thumb up to like it. And if you're a first-time visitor to the channel, please subscribe. You want to make a donation, just click the little $sign in the bottom of the chat on YouTube. Anything is welcome. Nathan, how do we change this game and get back in the running?
Yeah, I think Pete's spot on about Saint-Maximin. If you're any team and you're looking, you've got Newcastle coming up this following weekend, the player you don't want to play against is Saint-Maximin. And for me, when we're sticking him up there, up front, he's not at his best. If you're one of the fullbacks today, you're loving life that you're not, you're not having him running at you, you're not having him stretching you down that wing and cutting inside and one thing and another. So we're not utilising him to his full potential. And I've said that a million times now. But Bruce doesn't seem to see it, and he doesn't seem to make that change until later on in the game usually. And that, I hope that's what we see in the second half. I think the lads have said with Almiron, I'd much rather see Almiron in that position that Saint-Maximin's taking up at the moment. There's been a lot of running from Almiron, like tracking back and that kind of thing, but we didn't pay, as Pete said before, we didn't pay north of 17 million for a player that's going to run box to box and do last ditch tackles and get stuck in and that kind of thing. We bought him for his forward play, for his running, for his threatening defences, and we're not seeing any of that, just purely by the positions that. So in effect, Bruce has taken two of our better players and he's just absolutely bruising the pair of them, isn't he, by playing them in completely different, where they don't want to play, basically. I think in terms of the shout to get Carroll on, I'd agree. Again, I'd agree with Pete. I wouldn't have Carroll anywhere near this team unless it was last, dire straits at the last sort of 5-10 minutes at the end of the game. For me, he doesn't offer enough, and it's a case of lumping the ball in the box to him and see if he can get anything knocked down to anyone else. And there's players I'd rather have on the pitch before then. I'd like to see Matty Longstaff get a run out, to be honest, because I don't think he could do any worse than the two in the centre midfield today. What they've offered up for us, which has been absolutely nothing. I thought Sean Longstaff's been very poor. He's given the ball away very often. Hendrick, the game seems to be passing him by. So that's another reason that I probably want to see Isaac Hayden in there as well. Is that what I look like, complaining about these lot? So I think there's a lot. I couldn't get carried away at the start of this game, and I had a lot of difficulty predicting that we'd win, because if we look back to the other times that we've won so far this season, we've won a game, put in a really good performance, and then we followed it up with 2-3 performances of absolute drivel, haven't we? So I thought that it was going to go that way today. I didn't think we'd have many ideas, and I firmly believe that we're riding our luck. The games that we've won, we've been riding our luck massively. There's still no idea, no game plan. I don't think Bruce has affected any change whatsoever. I think the result last week was a bit of more of the lads getting themselves up for it than any sort of Bruce mastermind. I think we've been very generous to Bruce to say that he masterminded that victory last week, because I don't think he did, to be honest. And I think we're seeing that today, because if we had a game plan and any sort of consistency, we'd be looking at pressing these today, because like Pete said, they're sat back and they're looking to shore up shop and take 3 points away with a 1-goal win, and they're there for the taking today. But we're playing so far back down the pitch that we're not even giving ourselves a chance to get back in this game.
Okay, Laura, Katie's pleased to see you back, and she says she's going to need a bleeper on Monday night to get through Monday's show. She is human, but she is pleased to see you back. What do we do to change this in the second half?
Like someone said before, I think it's a formation. It's just not working today. I think they're going to have to go 4-4-2, put the nothing's going down the wings. So if you're getting Murphy further forward and put Maxi on the wing and just put Miggy further up with Wilson, but then you're going to have to swap out obviously Hendrick for Hayden just to put a bit of a, because he's like running through treacle, isn't he? But yeah, attack's the best form of defence. You're just going to have to go at them. Then just, I don't know.
Yeah, okay, no
just
problem.
Need to get down them wings because there's just nothing going at all. That's the thing with Carroll as well. There's no point in bringing him in unless there's a service as well. So
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
we'll see.
Second half's about to kick off. Al-Walid, how would you change it? I don't think we've made any changes in the at the start of the second half. So how would you change it to try and get back into this game, mate?
I think Steve Bruce will not make any change. We see that happened before 2 weeks ago against Wolverhampton. He waited until the end. We got saved by Jacob Murphy foul. We used to say Wilson is isolated, but I see also as well today, I see Saint-Maximin is isolated in the middle. He put Almiron behind him to start the attack. I think the issue is the right side of the field. We need someone on the right side. I suppose if, like, let's say, Saint-Maximin, we need someone on the right side. So maybe if we take Schoenstatt out and make Murphy ahead forward and put Manquillo as right back, this will give make balance. Saint-Maximin will have someone forward like skills of Jacob Murphy on the right. I think they will be triangle with Wilson, and I think this will get things move on and balance.
Okay, so the second half is kicked off, 46.5 minutes played. Newcastle United trailing by that 1-0 in the first half, and no changes from either side, I don't think, at half time. Let's hope Newcastle can get a quick goal and get back into this game nice and early. Was hardly a goal fest this afternoon. Slightly earlier, when Brighton took on Burnley, that was 0-0 this afternoon. I'm glad I didn't waste any time or money watching that one. Yeah, travel. Yeah, go on.
Just on there, up to stat there. Wilson only touched the ball 9 times.
Yeah, it's the least amount of touches by a player. Saw that stat come up.
Yeah.
You know what, Steve? I was just thinking then, I can't remember the last time, you know, we well, certainly us on the channel, you know, we've ever said about Bruce, you know, oh, he tried this and it didn't work and, you know, it wasn't happening. It always seems to be he's stuck in his ways and he doesn't react. He doesn't react to things. You know, now, if he went 4-4-2 and we ended up getting beat 2 or 3-0, I think, to be fair, I think a lot of us would turn around and go, do you know what? He tried, it didn't work. But if it just continues like this is the problem. It doesn't feel like he's in the dressing room and he's speaking, you know, to his number of backroom Steves and saying, you know, what do you think we should do? Should we change something? Should we move him round? Should we try this? Should we try that? I mean, I'm just looking now and I'm thinking, oh, you know, maybe he's tried something different. It doesn't look like he has. But, you know, based on that first half, if it continues in the same vein, I can only see 1-0, 2-0.
Yeah, we're missing Richie, Chris Hall, aren't we? Because, you know, he is somebody who, as Paul Gibson says, he does seem to be the only leader at times, and he shouts and waves his arms around. He said, but I get his point. We do miss the runs of Richie, and you know, I'm not a fan of Shelby, but he is a creative player. We need a creative player in that midfield.
Yeah, we do. You're right, and Paul's right. You know, we do miss Richie. He is a leader, and for me, you know, he would be my ideal choice of captain. Again, you've got the same problem in that, you know, Richie's probably not an automatic starter, but he sets the tone for the team, and I think he drives the team. And like you say, he's constantly shouting, and I think he'd, you know, he'd kick some backsides if we were performing like this.
He's 4 foot tall.
In the corner.
4 foot
Corner
tall from post, man.
Corner for Southampton. Newcastle managed to clear it. Ball's out. Another corner to Southampton, I think.
We're just
Came off
waiting
a
for the second
Newcastle player.
goal, aren't we?
We are. Yeah, it's got that feeling about it, mate. It has got that feeling.
Steve, I think Chris might be waiting to come back in.
Leave him off.
I've got him there, mate. There you go. You're back, Chris.
Back in his spot.
Oh,
Oh my! Oh,
Jesus Christ! What was that?
Yeah, it was a corner by Southampton. Cleared off the line. Didn't see who cleared it, but Newcastle cleared the lines, and the ball is safely towards the halfway line. Pumped back in by Southampton again, but Lascelles is across to clear it.
That's where.
We're open all the time in that middle.
Hit the bar.
We are all over the place. We are all over.
Romeo hit the bar there from long range, and the ball is out now for a goal kick. But yes, you're right. It's certainly looking as if Southampton are going to push for the second goal now. Yeah, it does. It needs changing, and Steve Bruce does tend to make these substitutions a little bit too late, doesn't he? If at all.
Yeah, but he's got to see it now. That's 2 chances they had there, and 2 corners as well. Give it if we get over this and give it 5 minutes, he needs to start making the change then, mixing it up a bit as they try to clear this. Yeah. Still not clear.
You know, in that replay then, well, I know it was an extremely slow replay, but you saw Romeo took a touch, looked up, steadied himself, and had a shot. And you think there's no closing down. Again, people aren't reacting, you know, to what's happening.
Yeah, we need some substitutions now, Spenny.
Need something. Tell you what, Darwin had a cracking save there, man, didn't he? Cracking save by him. Everything's going through the middle. Southampton's going all through the middle. Just having a go at our centre halves all the time. They're not going the wing, they're going in the middle. They've done the homework, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
Spenny's absolutely right. There is a gigantic hole in that midfield, and that's where Hendrick should be. He's not. He's just all over the place. Like he's a big reason why they're pressing the ball so high up. But look, we're massively struggling right now, and we need changes, and we need changes very, very quickly.
Yes, Pedro, he won't make changes after the 70th minute. He did it at Sunderland, he did it at Billy, whole lot. He won't make a sub till after the 70th minute. He's a pretty idiot.
Yeah, he doesn't make his substitutions early enough, Chris Hall.
No. Do you know what? You can see here, Hassan Hootle's got them in the changing room, and he's obviously, like Peter said, he spotted something, and he's thought, you know what? We're not pushing enough, we're not trying enough. And that's what I was saying in the first half. They were sitting back, and it was giving us an opportunity. Well, now they're absolutely coming at us because they know that, you know, we retreat, and it's just a matter of time, isn't it, before they score? And then no doubt, you know, if they do get a second, then they'll sit back. We're just there for the taking at the minute, and Bruce has really got it. He's got to change something quick, Steve, because we're 8 minutes in, and it's just been a bombardment from Southampton. And the longer we leave it, the more, you know, the sooner the goal will go in.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah, Chris, it's not looking good, mate. He's too busy watching the election.
No, I think, yeah, you know, I'm sort of reconsidering my saying that Andy Carroll will be the savior. I do believe that we should go with the bringing on Hayden plan that Pete was talking about. But I don't know if there's anything we can do tactically to save us at this point.
Southampton broke through again there. Darlow saved with his feet. Newcastle really at sixes and sevens here. And as Nathan and Pete quite rightly pointed out, we're completely losing the centre midfield battle. Hendricks and Longstaff completely overrun in the middle. Very little shape, effort, or idea as to what on earth they're doing. That needs to change. And if it doesn't change, Newcastle are going to lose this game. Al-Walid, it's a bit of a shambles today.
What's that?
It's a bit of a shambles. It's a mess.
Yeah. It's actually, I can see that we need Hayden to be in. I'm not happy with Sean Staff performance. I think we need someone to help help Hendrik. Hendrik I think he's doing good job, but it's like because he facing large number of players Southampton around him. He used to play with Shelby and Hayden together in the mid. So I think he's alone, and Sean Staff not doing any help.
Okay, Martin, it's very tough watching this, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd get a change now. I mean, look, that's awful ball. I mean, Almiron and Hendrick are just not clicking. Longstaff is hanging back. Hendrick's pushing further up onto one wing. Almiron's running the same way. We're getting lopsided on both sides of the midfield, which is allowing Southampton just to completely play through the middle of us. So I'd get Hayden on, I'd get Hendrick off, and I'd maybe switch it up. Either you push Almiron up and put ASM and Murphy further up, maybe bring Matty on and put him at the head of a diamond, and then just jiggle the back four back to jiggle the defence back to a back four. Hayden sitting at the bottom of the diamond is where I would go. Oh, hang on.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, look, see, we're overloaded. Nobody's on the left.
We are literally just chasing our own shadows at the back here. Southampton are actually ripping us a new backside, and it is inevitable there's going to be a second goal here. And if a second goal goes in, I can see this being a collapse of bigger proportions.
Tell you what, Steve, look at
the line there.
Because he's sitting like an idiot.
Yeah, that picture there where the pause was there, Spenny, that's meant to be a 3 with 2 wing backs.
Exactly.
And we're not even in a straight line. So the 2 wing backs are being pulled up. The defensive 3 then are completely out of shape.
His captain should be telling them, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
Captain, centre half should be telling them what to do there.
Spenny should be screaming. He should be screaming, and he doesn't look like he's saying anything.
The stupid thing is, there's 10 of us sitting here. We can all see what's going on. So why the hell can't Steve Bruce see it?
He's a bloody idiot. That's why.
Yeah, Pete, this isn't getting any better, Pete, is it?
No, from the last time I spoke on it, it's got worse. We are all over the place. It's a fundamental rule as a defensive line that your fullbacks never ever go behind your centre backs, and as a captain in the centre of that defence, you should be ensuring that doesn't happen. And the fact that Murphy kept him on side, Lascelles should be absolutely bollocking him for that. It's an absolute disgrace, like that this is even happening. It's like this is exactly what I talked about. I talked about before the game is that what I wanted to see was consistency. I don't want us to be questioning what performance we're going to get today. I want us to be able to continue our good form and a good play from the second half of Everton. But we've just reverted back. This is like West Ham and Brighton all over again. It is, and this is the problem: is that we're just not consistent at all. This is like, you're right, Steve, that you said what you said. This should be 2 or 3-0 by now, and it should be another Brighton performance all over again. And
Matty Longstaff coming on.
If we are lucky enough to get anything back into the game, then it's purely the Bruce look playing its hand again, because we haven't deserved anything from this game so far. Why Hendrick has not been pulled off at half-time, I have no idea, because he's come out on the pitch in the second half and he's been even worse than he was in the first half. And there's no tracking, there's no intensity in his game. That's exactly what we're lacking, and that's exactly what Hayden gives us. It's a no-brainer. Get him on the pitch. Unless he's injured, he should be playing. It just baffles me that this is the situation right now. It absolutely baffles me.
The only positive I've got there, Pete, is the last 10 minutes we've been scoring goals in the last 3 or 4 games. So hopefully that might turn out.
Well, hopefully, but I think that's what Bruce is hoping for. He's hoping for that Bruce look all over again. But as we've all said so many times over the weeks that we've been on here, is that look's going to run out at some point. We're not going to get that look every game. We're not that fortunate as a team and as a club.
Straight through the middle again.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Sorry to interrupt. I don't know whether anyone saw that. Hendrick had his man, and then when we got the ball, or the ball like pushed forwards, Hendrick just left his man, and then all he did was pick through, right through the middle.
Exactly. Through the middle again.
Like a knife through butter, Chris Hall. Like a knife through butter. Unfortunately, we need somebody to plug the gap in there and change things, Nathan. It's not a pretty watch, this, mate. We're just waiting for that inevitable second goal.
Yeah, absolutely. We've sat back now to the point where, where they're just running through us and cutting through, like you said. It doesn't seem to me there's any effort from the middle of the field. I think.
Okay, there's a first decent move.
Yeah, like Hendrick for me he's been a passenger this game. The game's passed him by. There've been players drifting past him. They've been letting the runners go. People, stragglers running through the middle of our midfield. And like I said at the beginning of the game, they like to play through the middle and break through with those runs. And we've let them do it all day today. So it's no wonder they've had a lot of joy from that. And we're really, really lucky that that it's only 1-0 at this stage. We need to change the wing situation out with Saint-Maximin, and he needs to get into the game more. A lot of these players today, it baffles me really, because we had the players that the majority of players on the pitch that started today. Obviously, they all started last week at Everton, but they were all up for it last week, and they all put in a shift, and they all got stuck in, and our press was high, and we looked really good for it. Southampton have sat back through large parts of this game today, but our press is, look at the intensity now. All you need to do is look at these players, and they're jogging, closing the men down. There's no intensity there in that final third of the pitch, and that intensity and that press is what creates opportunities, and it creates opportunities for us to get the ball back and make things happen and put them under pressure. We're letting them just be pedestrian today, and it's just not acceptable. But that's as Pete mentioned, that's the consistency aspect. There's it's no great mystery why we've won and drawn and lost the similar amount of games this season, and that's how the season will continue. We'll win one, lose one, draw one all the way through the season, and that's how it's going to go. Because we'll get lucky some games, but we'll lose a lot of games, and we'll fluke a lot of games by by nicking a goal like we have done so far this season.
It's another corner, I think, to Southampton. Ward-Prowse is putting the ball down, and he's going to take this. And got to agree with what the panel is saying tonight. It is a woeful display at the moment, and you can't see anything other than a Southampton second goal and them going on to get all 3 points. But depends whether Bruce has got his lucky clovers down his underpants. Another good save by Darlow, pushing the ball out after the corner was whipped in by Ward-Prowse, and Saint-Maximin doing some great work down at the corner flag, taking the ball past one, past two, but he does too much. Southampton won the ball back.
Well, he should be on the wing.
So Cor Wilson is now.
Yeah, Saint-Maximin doing some great work there, some great defensive work there. The ball came to Wilson probably for the first time in the second half, and unfortunately he's had to trip all the way back to try and get the ball back. Eventually gave up the chase, and Newcastle still really struggling to get out of their own half. There was another interesting stat came up before. I think it was something to do with the amount of shots at Newcastle's goal. I'm sure it was around about the 129 mark for the season so far. Absolutely mental, that. It really, really is. Laura, you've got your head in your hands.
I feel sick. It's just, you can't. There's no other word than shit, really. Is it's just absolutely shocking. Honest to God, it's just all one way. It's only going to be them, isn't it? I mean, he's brought Matty on, but they just need people down the wings. There's nothing going down there, and then you can't even say that they're all packed in the middle defending, because they're going straight through the middle as well. So it's just. Oh yeah, we're gone. Yeah, it's just shocking.
Yeah, I don't think we can sum it up much better than that, Laura. It is crap. There's no other word to describe it. Daz, completely off track. England call-ups this week. A lot of people were shouting that Darlow and Wilson should have been in. I wasn't too keen on Wilson being in. I don't think he's done enough, to be perfectly honest. Half his goals are penalties. For me, though, Darlow has certainly proved his worth, and 129 shots a goal and counting this season, and he's done a great job. When you think that he's our number 2 keeper.
Yeah, no, I saw the squad the Southgate picked. I would have put Darlow in as well, ahead of Pickford, and Nick Pope hasn't had a great run. Henderson is he's not getting a game at United now, but he did brilliant for Sheffield United last season. I wouldn't have picked Tammy Abraham. I would have gone with Wilson myself. But at the same time, there's this round of games this weekend. There could be some injuries. There might be late changes. But I'm not really concerned about the English squad. Aren't you playing Ireland?
Well, I know, but I had to ask you because he's a Newcastle player. So
yeah,
I did have to ask you, mate. And I'm sure you'd like to see Darlow in nets for England.
Yeah, I do like to see Newcastle players get called up to their international teams, but then my only worry, as always, is that they get injured, and my main concern is that they can play for Newcastle when we need them.
Exactly, which is the point John Gibson always makes whenever he does these shows. Spenny, would you have liked to have seen Darlow called up? Do you think he deserved a call up for his international team?
Definitely. I don't know why he's not called up. It's obviously a North East South divide's going on here because he got sacked off Borough. That's what I think it is. Simple as that. You know what I mean? We've never been, since Southgate's been here, how many players have been called up? I think it's only been called back, and that's it. Playing for England.
And I don't even think he played, did he? He got injured. No. He got called up and didn't get a chance to play. So
amount of players we've had and being in form. Even Hayden deserves it the way he was playing last year. The end of last year, he deserved England call up. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't watch England now in the qualifiers. I only watch them in the tournaments because I think they're boring the way he plays.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth.
The stats have come up there as usual. Shots against Newcastle 13 so far, so on course for our average of 16.5, which won't be a surprise. Chris Hall, things aren't getting any better. We're coming up to 67 minutes played, which of course is usually when Steve Bruce likes to start thinking about even making substitutes. He's already brought Matty Longstaff on. Has he had much chance to shine?
Not really. I think. Well, he's done considerably better than Hendrick anyway. That's something. But yeah, it's not really made much difference. Again, there's Maxi limping again. I don't know. I'm lost for words, Steve. Arguably those 15 minutes were the worst that I've seen. Probably up there with Brighton for the whole match. Yeah, it's really poor, and unfortunately, when plan A doesn't work, there is no B, C, D, and that's been the issue, and it's going to continue to be the issue because we're just not. I don't know. It's frustrating because we've got some good players, and I think the potential's there. And like I say, there was a big opportunity for us, especially in that first half, to come out second half on the front foot. I always say on the front foot, and to really make an impression and really get at this Southampton team. But potentially they're going to come off the field and think, you know what, we got a goal there because Newcastle made a mistake, and they've not asked any questions of us at all, and that's the frustrating thing. And I think that's why a lot of us and a lot of fans in general, are against Steve Bruce, because if we had a half decent manager, and I'm not even saying a decent manager, a half decent manager. They would have spotted what the problem is, what we need to do, and what we need to change to mix things up. I mean, Callum Wilson must be absolutely sick and tired of this because he's just not getting the ball. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see if he makes any changes, but we definitely need a couple more changes. I think bringing Cavill on. Oh, we are free kick. This should be good.
Yeah, Newcastle finally venturing into the Southampton box. played the ball in. Wilson went up with the header, but it was cleared. Longstaff gathered the ball and managed to turn, and it was a handball on the edge of the area by the Southampton defender. So it's a free kick in a dangerous position, it has to be said, on the edge of the area. The referee's busy organising the wall and pushing it back. And let's just see whether Steve Bruce's lucky four-leaf clover is going to work this time. Who's going to take the free kick is the big question.
There's no way Murphy's giving this up.
No.
Murphy's on it. Almiron's standing next to him.
Oh yeah.
I tell you what, Ward-Prowse would like this at the other end, wouldn't he?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
he
great
would.
position.
Well, it's in exactly Ward-Prowse's kind of territory, but it's Newcastle who got the free kick. Almiron seems to be shaping up. Murphy's shaping up. It's going to be between the two of them. Referee still organising the wall.
Richard Shelby would love this as well.
Yeah. Don't mention the devil.
Come on, Newcastle. Free kick. Oh, hits the wall. Goes out to Saint-Maximin. Wide on the right-hand side. Plays the ball back to Matty Longstaff. Matty Longstaff to his brother Sean. Sean back to Matty. Matty to Saint-Maximin. Saint-Maximin, 1, 2. Tries to take the man on. Ball goes out for a throw-in, but it goes the other way to Southampton. And danger looks cleared.
Richard's just put a good play out there.
Saint-Maximin does not look like he wants it today at all. He's been garbage.
Ever since his mate came on the scene, St. Max hasn't performed at all. I wonder, is he out in the piss with him or something? Just not happening from him.
It could be. You never know. Andy Carroll looks like he's going to be coming on. He's warming up. And Manquillo as well. Big Joe. I'm just giving him a wave.
You're coming to the first team now, 50 shots on goal.
Yeah.
This season. On target.
Chris, coming to you next. I just want to know what's going on in Pennsylvania.
Gonna have to. I don't know. I mean, this game was supposed to be like a relief for me from the stress of the election week, and Newcastle not helping me out here. I don't know. It's just I don't know if I had high expectations. It's sort of like if I go in with low expectations, then they can possibly be exceeded, if not beaten. So maybe I need to do that from the future now. It's kind of defeated my optimism. Joking
aside, Chris, this election does really puzzle me. I mean, you know, it looks to me that Biden should win this without a doubt. Do you seriously think that there's going to be some kind of, big court action? He seems to be appealing results in certain states.
Go on, give it to him.
Seems as if he's covering his head. Do you think he's going to? Do you think Trump's got a chance?
Have you seen that the YouTubes with Hitler in the bunker? This is Hitler in the bunker. This is all of the memes where there's an out of touch Hitler and he's ordering attacks with troops he doesn't have. That's basically Trump right now, ordering attacks with troops he doesn't have. So
okay, mate, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope you get the result you want, and hope we get the result we want tonight as well. Martin, 72 minutes played. Southampton are ready to make a substitution now.
Yeah, look, I mean, they've, again, from their perspective, they've not really even had to up their game or make a change. They've just continued in the same vein in the middle. Matty's come on and, looks a direct replacement for Hendrick. He's slotted into the same space, so we've not changed it at all. We've not changed shape. We've not gone for anything. So, here's another pacey bit of pace coming in Redmond now. So that's Redmond and Walcott. So I can't see this going any other way at the moment. I think even if Bruce brings somebody else on, I can't see him changing the shape. Wilson isolated. We're playing way too back, getting caught out through the middle. So, no, very poor.
I've got to be perfectly honest. Matty Longstaff's come on. He's gone straight in the position and he's playing exactly the way Hendrick was. Do you know what I mean? It's more about the tactical setup and the lack of direction from the coach than it is about the players who are getting asked to play in those positions at the moment. I just don't think anybody's been given any firm instructions. It generally looks like somebody mentioned before, as if the halftime recess was all about going in and having a buffet or something, which rather than a bollocking, which is what they should have got. Al Walid, it's again nothing happening here, nothing positive happening from Newcastle.
Actually, it was funny when you said that Steve Bruce doesn't see what's going on, and Spinny Mag said because he's an idiot. Actually, Steve Bruce not idiot. He's not idiot. He's definitely seeing this, but I think he's fine with it. He said, okay, I know that you are going to attack me on the side. I see Southampton putting 2 players on the side, on the right and on the back, just waiting as we see now.
Good tackle, Lascelles.
Great challenge by Lascelles, that.
Wow. And so I think he just expecting that he will. He want to make a draw. He feel that he can still get a draw in the time left, and he will bring Andy Carroll now, as we see. So he just that what's going on, but he just want to score. He see that he can still make it. He can prevent Southampton from score second goal and score the draw.
That's the penalty.
Yeah, but again, defensively there, like Fernandez and Lascelles are right next to each other. Like that, like that back five is meant to come together. The wing backs are meant to drop back, and the three obviously central in Shaw, Fernandez, and Lascelles. There's nobody on that right hand side, so he has to look at him because there's no cover there.
It's a penalty, not like. Sorry, but that's a penalty. That was Newcastle that would have been screaming for a penalty.
That looks a penalty to me.
Doesn't get the ball.
I don't know. I think he got the ball just before he done it.
Does he just
get that angle? Yeah.
No, he didn't. He missed the ball and kicked him in the leg.
He does.
Yeah, it's a bad challenge really when you rewatch it again on Sky. Theo Walcott still writhing around in agony. I don't think it's gone to VAR. I think they're just looking at the treatment for Theo Walcott here before the restart play. So Newcastle, I would say, got out of jail there. Always difficult. Like you can never ever judge it until the referee starts kicking play. Now he's shaking his head and saying no, it was fine, it was a fair challenge. But you got to watch that in the replay. Certainly,
it was. The referee didn't say in slow motion, does he?
Exactly. Somebody's asked if Laura's keeled over with excitement. No, I think she's just chasing her dogs around the house. Tom Dixon says, why doesn't Bruce change the formation? It's clearly not working. We need to match them and go 4-4-2. Put Saint-Maximin on the left where he'll get more of the ball and be more effective. I did like Stu's comment. He says, why don't we get an attacking manager like Ryan Giggs? Naughty. Naughty. Anton Mackay says, honestly hate watching Newcastle every week. It just seems that the same no idea performance. Maybe we'll fluke another late goal and Bruce will get away with it again. Paul's laughing. He says, did you just say tactical setup, Steve? Have a word with yourself. Yeah, I was being a little... It's called sarcasm, mate. I know it's the lowest form of wit. Barry Hogan says, can someone not get a firework and put it up Bruce's arse? Yes, it would be probably quite handy. We should have done that maybe at half time. What's up with the SM? He doesn't look like he wanted to turn it to defence. Bruce is bringing out the worst in our players. Which
Joe Linton,
Carol and Joe, now we're living life.
Oh,
Wilson's coming off.
Ah, come on, man, here.
Oh, yeah, man. Flipping neck, man.
77.
The only positive for me out of the 11 that's on there has been Wilson's hold-up play with nobody around him.
77 minutes gone. It's Callum Wilson off, Andy Carroll on, and Andy Carroll patted him on the back rather sympathetically.
And Murphy.
And Joe Linton is... Joe Linton is coming on for Murphy. Yeah, victims of the lack of ideas and lack of tactics, I think, guys and girl.
I think we're going long ball here.
Yeah, get ready for 40-yard passes.
Did anyone
anybody's top coach? Why would you take your leading scorer off?
Yeah, Wilson. I've seen him grabbing his hamstring.
He's injured.
Yeah, I think he's injured.
Yeah,
he's been injured for the past 10 minutes, guys. He's been holding his hamstring for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He's been over for 10 minutes. He's not running it off like.
That's probably
that's Steve.
Who will play right back?
So that was the thing we dreaded, Daz, at the start of the season, that potentially we could end up losing Wilson for a spot of time and not have anybody to come in and replace him.
Yeah, that was the worry. I heard there this week that there's talk of Gale might come back earlier, but we don't want to rush him back too early. It's probably we have the international break after this, so probably coming in at a good time. So we'll see what's actually wrong with Wilson. Yeah, but if we're stuck with Joe Linton and Carroll, I suppose we play Chelsea next. Probably not one that we're expected to win anyway. Yeah, we'll see what the injury to Wilson is.
Yeah, that's a big Spenny Mag. That's a big blow. If Wilson's cattled for any period of time, that's a big blow to us.
Also, it's not just a little injury, like, because he's got the international break, haven't he? So a couple of weeks, he might be back. The big miss if he does, like, because I can't see anybody else coming in down out at all. That's why we all mentioned beginning of the season, me and you said, didn't we? We need another striker in.
Yeah.
Didn't we? Going back to that now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, mate. It is. I mean, it was always going to be a fragile position to be in. Chris Hall losing Wilson and an international break up and coming, obviously, which gives him a little chance of rest. But a hamstring, you can't rush them.
Yeah, you're probably talking 3 or 4 weeks, aren't you? Which is a worry. It is a concern. This is the problem, isn't it? This is the problem we've all been dreading. I mean, hopefully it's precautionary, and he's felt something, and he's thought, right, just get him off. And he hopefully, as Pete said, he hasn't had it for 10 minutes. Because if he has, then again, Bruce has left it far too late. But yeah, do you know what's interesting here? I noticed that we've put Joe and Carroll on.
Oh, fuck's sake!
Did we?
Oh
my word!
Game over.
That was garbage from Longstaff. Absolute garbage. What the hell is he doing?
Armstrong with a goal. Armstrong with a goal for Southampton.
Right through the middle.
That's it. Good night, God bless. Game over.
And you wouldn't be surprised if Newcastle conceded another 1 or 2 before the end of the game, because under Bruce, they have got a habit for that. As Southampton go top of the Premier League, 2-0 up now. And it was Longstaff, yeah. Absolutely horrendous. Southampton won the ball again. Theo Walcott, who's been a thorn in Newcastle's side all night, got the ball, took it wide. Longstaff just didn't. He dallied. He tried to back heel it, completely messed it up. And Armstrong took 1 step, took 2 steps, past the defenders, and stroked the ball into the bottom corner, past Darlow, who really didn't have much of a chance. What on earth Lascelles was doing?
What's Lascelles doing?
Lascelles looked as if he was on Strictly Come Dancing. He took the knee, and then when one way went the other way, let Armstrong find a gap, and he stroked it in the bottom corner past Darlow. Nothing Darlow could do about it. Again, Longstaff with a mistake. Lascelles culpable as well. And as Dunhill Bain says, good night, Vienna. 2-0 to Southampton. 7.5 minutes to go. Daz. Yeah, that was coming, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, they were all over us, all over this game. We haven't got into it at all, and we won't. As you said, let's hope they don't concede any more, because you never know who might need that goal difference. But no, they haven't turned up at all today. And yet, 2 stupid mistakes, one by Almiron and one by Longstaff, have cost us these goals, but there was other times that they could have, Southampton could have and should have scored as well, and we've done absolutely nothing today. I agree with Laura. We were shit.
Nathan, some people saying there we should have sold Longstaff to Manchester United when we had the chance. I know a lot of this is knee-jerk reaction from supporters, but it's not the first time I've heard that.
No, not at all. I think for, it would have made. I think at the time we would have been devastated, wouldn't we? But I think, looking back, obviously hindsight's a wonderful thing, but looking back, it would have been a cracking bit of business. I think. I don't think he's got that appetite that he had in his sort of breakthrough season. Certainly, watched him a few times this season. I thought he had a good game last week, but I think that's the first time I've seen him play well for, since probably about halfway through last season. He had a few games in the cup, didn't he? Earlier on the season, and I think he sort of struggled to dominate, lower league opposition in the center of midfield, which should have been a piece of cake for a Premier League midfielder, but it wasn't the case. Really sickening to go 2-0 down, both two goals where our midfielders have, given the ball away at the edge of the area. It's inexcusable, really, at this level, at any level. But if I did that for my Sunday League team, I'd be expecting to get absolute pelters for it. So to do it in a Premier League game is absolutely disgraceful, isn't it? So, yeah, not good.
Yeah, not good at all, Pete. It's been a shambles, mate. And there's no sugarcoating shite, is what I would normally is what I would say.
Absolutely garbage. The whole lot of them. They've been awful today. They've just been so disjointed. They don't know. They haven't looked like they wanted it at all. We had the opportunity to go into the top four, and it always seems to happen when we have a chance of really sort of starting to kick on. We just don't turn up. We just do not turn up at all. Look, let's face it. Southampton haven't got out of first gear. They haven't needed to. We haven't given them anything to think about from a defensive point of view. We haven't caused them any problems at all for this whole game until that.
Jesus.
And it had to take Joe Linton to force the keeper into his first save, which tells you everything you need to know about this 85 minutes of this game. It has been absolutely awful. I'll be honest with you, I'm starting to worry about Saint-Maximin a little bit, because it's not just about the fact that he's been marked out of the game. I worry because his attitude doesn't seem right. He doesn't seem like he wants it. He's going down with every tackle, every touch, and he's complaining that he's injured or he's hurt, and he's spending more time worrying about how hurt he is than actually getting up and getting on with the game. And that worries me. It worries me about his mentality coming into the last few games. They all need an absolute kick up the arse after this, because this is not good enough. And with Chelsea coming up next, they're going to be coming here confident, thinking they're going to put 3 or 4 past us. And on this performance, they probably will.
That's his go-to thing, though, isn't it, Saint-Maximin? When he's flying these knocks and these tackles, he seems to ride them out, and they don't seem to affect him. But when the game's not going for us, he looks like he feels them a lot more, doesn't it? And he's going down and complaining and holding his leg every 2 minutes and that kind of thing. I think that's just his go-to response, isn't it, to any kind of pressure and any difficult situation.
His decision making has been poor, though. He's had the ball in good positions, particularly in the second half. Just before the last time he went down, Almiron made a fantastic diagonal run, and the ball was on, and he decided to cut inside again, cut inside, rather than just play the ball. And there's been a lot of that. I don't think I've seen Lewis attack their fullback. I've not seen Murphy attack that fullback. I've not seen one of them try and get a ball into the box, apart from that chance with Joe Linton. So it took 85 minutes for us to actually attack somebody and put a ball into the box. It just seems like there's just a lack of will to attack. A very, yes, they go top of the league when they won, but actually on this performance, they haven't played well at all. I don't think Southampton. I don't think they've looked a top half team, if I'm honest with you. But we've made them think that way, and now they're sitting on 2-0 up, comfortable. They've barely broke a sweat for this 87 minutes, and that's the worry. And we've not given them anything to think about whatsoever.
No, we definitely haven't. Laura, it's enough to turn you to drink.
Oh, honestly, I'm holding back from like a Katie-esque rant. It's honestly, it's just absolutely horrendous. A lot of them, they don't seem in the slightest bit arsed. Like that goal, they're just sticking your little leg out, trying to flick it here and there. Just put your foot through it. just, and then the goal goes in. They're just like it's a training match or something. It's like a league match. You've got it. There's someone should be in there doing their nut when they're. And there's just no one. They don't look bothered at all. It's just honestly just so irritating.
No, it definitely is. It's a frustrating game for your debut on Matchday Live. Newcastle United 2-0 down at Southampton. Just about 1 minute left of normal time and then added time to go on. Lack of tactics, lack of direction, and just a lack of efforts on goal as well, unfortunately, which is no surprise under Steve Bruce, it has to be said. And we've gone from all, being quite happy with the performance last week and getting 3 points against Everton to being low and rock bottom again, and getting ready for the Steve Bruce book of excuses in his after-match interview. Sean Longstaff gets booked, a little bit unlucky with that, it has to be said, but he's another name that goes into the referee's book. So we'll go around the table again before the game ends. Daz, sum the game up, please. Oh, Daz, are you frozen? He's frozen.
I'm back.
Oh, there he is. That's it. You're back now, mate. You're back in the room. Yeah, just sum up the game. We've got about 10 seconds left of ordinary time, whatever time to add on. Give us your analysis of this game, mate.
Yeah, absolutely crap. Didn't turn up. They from the game against Everton, we put in a good performance. We're expecting so much from them today. Turns to form, really. We're Newcastle fans. We know what to expect. It's up and down. It's we'll expect nothing against Chelsea, and they might surprise us with a draw or something. But just bad day at the office for everybody.
Yep, definitely. Spenny, give us your analysis of the game.
Shite. Simple as that.
Okay, Chris Hall.
No mind, Steve. I'm sorry, but I'm upset. Lost the game and we haven't played very well.
No, that's fine, mate. Listen, you say what you want to say, mate. It's your platform, and you're probably saying what a lot of people are feeling. And certainly, Twitter's gone absolutely mental, and Bruce out once again, trending in the United Kingdom, and it's no surprise, Chris Hall.
No, it's not at all. It's just so disappointing, Steve. And do you know what? This is what I hate about playing Friday nights, because now I know all weekends I'm just going to be fuming because it's just so poor. It's just it's poor to watch. You feel like you're wasting your time. The whole thing's just frustrating, isn't it? Because, like I say, if you look at our 11 and you look at the bench, we've got some half decent players there, and I don't think it's a lack of effort from the players, but I think it's a lack of direction, and ultimately that's down to the manager. And they don't look happy. And it's really frustrating, and we can all see the problem. And do you know what I was thinking actually at 1-0? Part of me, and I know I shouldn't think like this, and I think I've said it before. Part of me was thinking, you know what, I will actually be a bit annoyed if we equalise here, because again, we're getting away with it. We're not good enough, and we're getting away with it. And the trouble is, the longer that this goes on, I mean, ultimately we all want to stay up. That's the main priority. But the longer this goes on, the longer Bruce stays in the job, and that's going forward, that's just not a good thing. Yeah, it's worrying, isn't it, for Chelsea? Worrying, because Chelsea will absolutely pick us apart. I'd be thinking 3-4 at least. A half decent team turns up, and we're done for.
Yep. Okay, Chris, your take on the match as we enter the last 30 seconds of added on time.
Yeah, just complete shambles, disappointment. Worst performance of the week, worse than Donald Trump.
God, worse than Donald Trump. Brilliant. Mighty Mags, Darren, Martin. Sorry, mate, I'm busy on Twitter when I should be concentrating on the show. Martin, give us your take on the game as we enter the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, look, back to type. No plan. That's the game over. Well, we just didn't have the break as well.
Yeah, well, lost you there, Martin. Briefly, your internet died down. Brucey's affecting your internet.
He is, yeah. He's jinxed. Yeah, look, could have been 4 or 5 on a different day if Southampton had upped the game, and that's all really. They're going top of the league. They had a plan. Didn't really have to break a sweat. We did nothing. Institutions didn't make a difference. Joe Linton unlucky with the header, great save from their keeper, but other than that, we've probably got Wilson now injured. International break again. Nothing to look forward to on the horizon at the minute. Very poor.
Definitely poor. Al-Walid, disappointing match that tonight, mate. Your summing up, please.
I think Southampton coach will go home tonight and thinking how Steve Bruce let him walk away with this game. And it was poor reading for the game by Steve Bruce. I said earlier, it's not Hendrick's fault. It's just they are. It was number issue around him. The player of Southampton was just high in number. That's it. He just put Matty Longstaff. He think it was good to change for just fresh legs, but this wasn't the solution. Also said earlier, Sean Staff. I think he was exhausted. We see the second mistake in the game when he miss kick the ball. It's totally I can. And Steve Bruce can do much more effort to change the game. You are losing 1-0. He just maybe was depend on luck again. He will save him, but he should do more thinking or more. And you are the coach. You can do brilliant things, I suppose. Someone with your experience.
Okay, Pete, sum up that feast of football for me.
Absolutely shit. It was awful, and I'm sick of seeing performances like that. I'm sick of seeing Jekyll and Hyde performances from Newcastle United. It absolutely winds me up, and it's just so frustrating. This is why we keep saying, regardless of the win, regardless of the draw, regardless of the loss, this is why we're saying we need another direction. We need another manager to take us forward, because tactically and systematically we are not good enough, and we get found out against teams that we really, on paper, with the squad that we've got, should be beating. But we're not set up well enough. And that was a clear example of that tonight. We were not set up well enough mentally and physically to win that game. We should have left everything on that pitch tonight. We've now got 2 weeks with the international break. We should have left everything on that pitch, right? Knowing, I wouldn't have minded. I never ever mind, if we lose a game, but we've left everything on the pitch, that we've given 100%. Those players have not given 100% tonight. Sean Longstaff, awful. Lascelles, awful. Hendrick, awful. Alan Saint-Maximin, awful. They didn't leave 50% on the pitch tonight, let alone 100%. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of seeing these performances. This squad is good enough to go to Southampton with their lead striker absent and their best left back absent, their most creative players, and win that game. Or certainly be competitive. We weren't even competitive tonight.
Imagine if Ings was playing.
Sorry?
Imagine if Ings was playing. Danny Ings was playing tonight.
Exactly. You're looking at 3 or 4-0. And this is the worry. And this is the problem. We will do just enough in the season to get to the 40 points. But actually, with this squad, we're better than that, or we should be better than that. And that's the big problem. I'm sick of it. I've already switched over to CNN. I don't want to see nothing from Sky in the feedback. I don't care about what Bruce has got to say, because all he does is rehash the same bullshit week in and week out. And I'm just sick of it. It just winds me up. Absolutely winds me up. It's a joke.
Well, it's a work in progress, Pete. We'll see what happens after the international break. Nathan, give us your assessment.
Yeah, it's hard to take anything away from that remotely positive, because there wasn't anything at all really disappointing to see the manner in which we conceded, giving two gifts of goals really, by giving the ball away at the edge of the area on 2 occasions, and they've just found the way into the net really easily after that. But I mean, we rode our luck anyway. They could have had 2-3 goals on top of those 2 that we gave them today. Caldwell made a couple of good saves, but he couldn't do much about the ones where we gave the ball away. But Lascelles he could have done better for both of those, both of the goals. But I feel as well like you're not anticipating losing the ball to a forward of the edge of the area like that, or certainly it's a bit harsh to criticise him for that. But I think in general he was poor anyway, Lascelles. As were most of the team, to be honest. I think we've gone back to like we've talked about in recent weeks, we've gone back to a situation where we can only probably pick out one player as having a decent game. In fact, I'm probably struggling to pick out one player even from that performance tonight. Centre midfield wasn't even a contest, and that's just not acceptable when we're in the Premier League. Games are won by those games are won in those midfield battles in the Premier League, and we had no fight, no bottle, no skill, no nothing in there today at all, and it's really poor to see. Despite Hendrick still playing, I wouldn't have him anywhere near the team for me, to be honest. When Isaac Hayden's on the bench and he's been playing well this season for me. So really disappointing. It's same old Newcastle where we'll win one week, we'll lose the next week, and we'll probably nick a draw the week after, and that'll be the story of our season. I don't think there's anything to look forward to in terms of that. I think it's going to be Steve Bruce throwing 11 men out and seeing if Saint-Maximin can do something, but he's sort of hamstring himself in that sense by not even playing Saint-Maximin in his best and most effective position. So when Saint-Maximin isn't firing for us, we don't seem to have a hope in hell. So yeah, it's really disappointing but unsurprising at the same time.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that they don't think Wilson was injured. We clearly saw him holding his hamstring for a period of time during that game and not being taken off. He's gone off and he went straight down the tunnel. So hopefully people are right and that it's not too serious. And with the international break, he'll be back and firing on all cylinders. Laura, your assessment of the game, please.
It's just embarrassing, I think, to look at them there. They just look like they just didn't have a clue. And then you're taking Hendrick off, putting Longstaff on, and then what's the point? You're not even changing the shape. It's not gonna. You're just swapping more or less like for like. So it wasn't working. So he's doing absolutely nothing to change it. It's just so frustrating. But the lot of them were shocking. I'm not surprised he would have pulled his hamstring. He wasn't getting any support, so he has to come back to try and get the ball himself, Wilson. But just a lot of them. But I think they should just be ashamed, really, the way that they've played today, but whether they will be or not, I don't know.
Okay. Is there a man of the match, Laura, for you?
No.
Okay. No man of the match at all.
Darlow did a couple of good saves, but
again, yeah, Darlow would be my man of the match, it has to be said. So there's 2 for Darlow. Nathan, what about you?
I mean, yeah, probably Darlow. I don't even want to pick one. None of them deserve it tonight at all. They were terrible up and down the park tonight. But Darlow made a few good saves. He kept it from being 5-6-0, I guess. So that's it. That's slim pickings again.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed that we can bounce back from this after the international break. But it's going to be very, very difficult against a team of Chelsea's levels. Pete, is there a man of the match for you?
No chance. No fucking chance. Not one player deserves that man of the match award. They were all garbage. I'm sorry. Awful.
Joe Linton did okay. He had one header on target.
It's the only thing he's done for us since he came to the club. Jesus. So Steve, that 10 games done now. Come on.
Yep, it is today. I'm going to start in the next game. So yeah, I'll give honest praise as Joe Linton, but he did really well tonight. Al-Walid, man of the match.
Well, I like the header from Joe Linton, but actually, I think Darlow. Only Darlow.
Only Darlow. Yep, I would agree as well. Martin, your man of the match. Have you got one?
Yes, I will give it to, unfortunately, Southampton, but I'm going to give it to Theo Walcott. I thought he was probably the best player on the park tonight before he was subbed. Ran the line, tore the midfield and defence apart, played the ball when he had to, ran it when he had to. Premier League quality, unfortunately. So, yeah, Theo Walcott for me tonight.
Okay, mate. Chris? Chris, could you unmute, please?
I'm with Pete that no one deserves it. But if you have to pick one person, you'd pick Darlow.
Okay, Chris Hall.
Yeah, when we look back, well, if anyone does look back on the game tonight, but I feel a bit sorry for Darlow actually, because he's actually made some decent saves, and the 2 goals, I don't think he's involved for any of them. There's nothing he can do about them. So he's actually made a couple of good saves tonight. So Darlow would definitely, if you were forcing me to do a man of the match for Newcastle, I'd say Darlow. In terms of overall man of the match, I'd say Stuart Armstrong. He sat in the hole just behind Shea Adams, and he caused us no end of problems, and obviously capped it off with a goal. So yeah, I'd say Stuart Armstrong. But if you were saying Newcastle, I'd say Darlow.
Okay. Spenny, any man of the match for you?
Keeper's had a good game, but I will give the man of the match to Laura, because nice to see you come back the podcast.
Ah, very nice.
Thank you.
Daz, what about you, mate?
Spenny stole my idea. Thanks, Spenny. But
anytime.
Yeah, Darlow made a few saves, but I wouldn't give it to any of them, and I'm not giving it to Southampton player either. So the woman of the match for me is Laura. Thanks for coming on and putting up with us moaning about this one.
Yeah, no, I need to get the kids back to sleep. I woke them up shouting at the second goal.
Well, tomorrow we will be back, but it won't be live. As I say, I did record a very special program last night, something I've wanted to do for a while, and that's a special with John Gibson, where John looks back over the Fairs Cup run. The last time Newcastle won a trophy, 1969. As I said earlier on the Three Amigos, I don't see a great deal on that program. John just recalls every single game, home and away, and then leads us all the way to the final with his own special recollections. He was at every single game, home and away. So fantastic memories. That's on at 6 o'clock tomorrow. And I make no apologies for again, promoting our campaign that we're running as part of NUFC Matters, and that is the Phone a Friend campaign. Basically, just over the next 4 weeks during lockdown, we want you to pick up the phone, speak to a family member or a friend that you haven't spoken to for a while. Just make sure that they're all right. And, it costs nothing. It's a bit of your time, and it's a phone call, one a day if you can. Just ring people, make sure they're all right. It's something we all believe in at NUFC Matters, and please just give it some consideration over the weekend. Want to thank all the panel for coming on. Pity we didn't get the result we were looking for, but thanks. Have a good weekend, guys, and look forward to speaking to you. Hopefully on Sunday, when I think we'll do an international day on Sunday. I'll get back to you with the time, but maybe do one about 3 o'clock in the afternoon if that's all right with you guys and girls if you want to come on.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Take care. Good night, guys. Take care.
Okay, everybody. Thanks.